Okay. 2022 hot takeoff coming right up.
Rob and Akiva need a podcast, and they need your help. Can you make it onto the wheel? Rob and Akiva need a podcast. Yeah, they'll buy or sell your ideas. They'll talk about it till you got it, you feel. Every weekend, you better attend. You can guess what will be coming up next. Rob and Akiva need a podcast.
Yeah, that's right. Rob and Akiva need a podcast number 181. And boy, it is a huge episode here today because it is time for an annual tradition. It's the 2022 hot take off. And now here is the man who invented the hot take off. Here he is, the king of the hot takes. It's Akiva Winokur.
I don't know why. I thought you were going to say I invented podcasting.
Nope. Definitely wasn't going to say that.
3.5 podcasts. Did we invent that at least?
I think you invented having a half podcast.
Half a podcast. Yes, I did. I invented that.
Yes.
And then I invented not doing that podcast anymore.
Yes, but we're here to talk about the hot takeoff
Mhm.
TV. And so here we are. And boy, for the first time that we have hot takes in the hot weather.
Yes, the hot takeoff is traditionally a winter event. It just never came up on the wheel. The universe did not want it to happen in the summer, in the winter, and instead here we are, 4th of July weekend, and it's hot takeoff season.
It's been 18 months since the last hot takeoff back on January 23rd, 2021. What a time! January 2021, and so here we are, some 18 months later, back with the hot takeoff crew, of course. First, let's welcome back a woman who has joined us for all of the hot takeoffs dating back to even on 32 Fans, right? No, or was that I'm making that part up?
I think it was the Survivor one we did.
It was RHAP proper.
Survivor hot takeoff. Who knows? But she does know it all, as she is from science. Please welcome back with us Dr. Liana Boris. Liana, how are you?
Yay, I'm doing so well. Thank you so much. I'm excited to be back. You know, we've heard of Hot Girl Summer. It's hot takeoff summer. We're in it.
Hot
We're living
summer.
it.
Yes.
Can't wait. Excited. This is going to be a mess, but you know what? It makes sense. It's for now. So.
And Akiva, am I correct about this? I don't have, maybe we have a fact checker here watching us live here in the Zoom. I would say this has been the longest stretch we have gone on the podcast since Liana has been on with us.
Oh, no question. Liana,
in the history of RAANAP.
Honestly, what we have today is the two most frequent guests in the history of the show, and I feel like they battle back and forth for who has the most appearances. So if someone, we have a lot of people watching in the chat. If someone could get us maybe an answer on that at some point, or a listener who's not watching live, I'd love to know who's been on more. But I'm pretty sure they're 1 and 2.
Liana, do you recall what your last RAANAP appearance was?
I genuinely don't. Was it this Star Wars one? No, it couldn't have been that. Let me see if I think
that I think that the hot takeoff has happened since.
Oh, that's true. Yes, because that was, I think, was in December. So maybe it was the last hot takeoff, the 2021 hot takeoff.
Oh my God.
It's been too long. It's been too long.
Is that possible? Oh my God. All right. All right. It's been too long, no matter what. And so we're so happy you're here.
I found what I thought was the answer to this question. It said, Rob and Akiva discussed the good, the RAANAP, and the ugly with Liana Boris, but I think that is a RAANAP bot idea, not an actual episode that happened.
Yeah,
Google was tricked by my question.
I don't think we did that.
You know what? I believe Liana was Reverse Family Feud. I believe that was last summer. That was summer 2021.
Okay, yeah. So then that would have been after the hot takeoff
with Nicole Horn. Okay. So happy to have you back here with us. What's been going on? Anything new?
They still doing science?
Yeah, we're still we're going strong despite, what the political world is trying to do to science. We're still here. I got to give a talk at an international conference that was sponsored by Moderna. I then got COVID from said conference. That was not sponsored by Moderna. And really, it's just been, an all around banger summer.
Okay. All right. Well, Liana, so happy you're here with us to help judge the hot takes. The woman who has been curating the hot takes all week long. The listeners have been sending them in, and she has a field of hot take participants to talk about here with us today. Of course, you know her from many things, Hot Dummies on Islands, and of course, the co-host of the Mess Magnets podcast. Please welcome back Kirsten McInnes. Kirsten, how are you?
Hi, Rob. I feel like I can confidently say I'm doing good. For the people that are watching live, I'm better now. It's fine. Everything's fine. I'm excited to be here. The takes are so hot. They gave me a sunburn. Like, we're winning.
Okay. All right. So the hot take off consists of 4 rounds of hot takes that we are looking for the greatest hot take artist of 2022. It will take 4 hot takes to win, Akiva. And is there any strategy for how to stack the hot takes?
I think if I was participating, I think my strategy would be you pull out just enough to win in the first round. And then I think
the Akiva strategy of doing the bare minimum, just enough.
What the hell? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
And
just
then
enough to get by.
I don't think, and then I think you go with your best take in round 2. And then at this point, like the panel, they're easy. They like love you. And then after that, it's like, so I think you go like your third best take, first best take, second best take, and then your worst take you save for the finale, because I feel like we're also judging on the previous takes. That's how I do it.
You can't have the worst take in the finale. But also, like, here's the thing. I rearranged the takes on what I think will make a better podcast.
Oh, so no strategy.
Okay.
Interesting.
Oh, you got to get up early in the morning to outthink
But
Kirsten.
I'll tell you what's not a strategy. Having a hot take about food, because they're like all boring, pretty much. Hardly any takes involving food at all made it into the hot take off.
So true. So true.
Yeah, was that because of Rob?
Yes. That's
it was because I was like, this isn't that interesting.
Kirsten, do you want another podcast?
Oh my God, no. Don't do that to me.
Oh, okay. You're making so much sense.
Oh my God. The other thing too is, every year we do this and some takes emerge as really cold takes because multiple people submit them as their hot takes. So I'd say this year's coldest take is that chewing gum is gross, because a lot of people submitted that as their hot take.
Okay, interesting. I wonder if there's something in the zeitgeist about gum.
Yeah.
Liana, do we dare try to define a hot take?
That was my other thought for what I was going to say at the beginning, was it's time for our annual what's a hot take debate that we can really never seem to come to a consensus on.
Yeah.
So because if I remember correctly, Rob, it was like yours was like it still has to be true, or was it Akiva was like it still has to be true?
No, I think that was more me. To me, my definition of a hot take is something that is actually true if you think about it. Like if you say the earth is flat, okay, well, yes, that would be a wild take, but since it's not true,
right,
to me you're just like saying saying a random thing that is not true. So I am looking for personally something that can be argued is true and is also interesting and thought-provoking.
What if someone like tried to convince you that the earth is flat? Like they brought evidence that the earth was flat. Would that help or no?
I think a hot take also has to be just a singular statement.
Yeah.
You can't come with a PowerPoint presentation full of, bullet points, right? Like we're looking for a singular thought. So I think that would invalidate it. But yes, okay, I can get on board with that. I think another part of criteria that I use is like that gut feeling, a gut reaction, that you know it when you see it kind of thing, which is very hard to define and very useful for quantitative stuff.
Yeah, I think
she used a lot of big words, but yes, I agree with her.
For me, I think it needs to somewhat go against conventional wisdom,
right?
So, something that people celebrate that you think actually stinks or might be mid, even Akiva, or something that people think stinks or might be mid, and you say actually is amazing. To me, that is a hot take.
Yeah, there we go. Like I think Akiva's name for the what was it? The gambling and then relationship advice name that Rob, you just shut down. I thought we really should have explored play poker and then poker. That to me, again, hot take, great name.
Yeah. Okay.
Any other good takes I've had in the last 18 months, Liana, since you haven't been on or whatever?
Wait,
please
that's not
just
a
keep
take
listening.
for
Yeah,
Rob
I
and
keep
Akiva
notes. I keep notes as I
explore,
listen.
Okay. All right. So we can also give polls to our live audience here. We invited the RAANAP listeners who are on social media. It is, Akiva, sadly, the Saturday Dead Zone, famously.
Yeah.
Yes.
Saturday Dead Zone. But we still have 30 plus people watching.
Yeah. And
No
so
complaints.
people are able to chat. We can get some live feedback here from the chat here on the RAANAP Hot Takeoff. We can also do polling of the audience as well. There is a poll up right now. Is this good? Yes or no? And then we can see from the audience, click on that poll on the polls tab as I launch it right now. And people are able to vote in our polls, and we can get some real-time feedback from the
Oh,
audience. That might
hosts
Why
be
and
can't
good.
panelists
we?
can't vote.
Yeah, why can't we vote?
Oh.
Why are you
Ah.
silencing Liana and I?
I don't know.
Let me out of here.
Don't know a lot about this. Okay. All right. That might be a Zoom question. Yes.
The other thing too, before we get into everything, is like we got submitted. Let me see exactly how many. Just about 110 people submitted hot takes. It's a little less than that because some people submitted more than one form because they thought of more takes later, or
Mhm.
also some people submitted the same takes like 3 times months apart, leading me to believe they keep their hot takes in like a document somewhere and like pasted them in because it was like exact wording. So it's a little less than 110, but over 100 people submitted takes. I think overall the quality of the takes was really good this time. What I was looking for when picking takes for the bracket is I want the take to have some sort of wow factor.
Yeah.
I want at least most of their takes to at least be defensible in some way. But also, I'm throwing in some stuff for laughs, you know? Last time we threw in should airplanes have a speed limit, you know? And
Mhm,
we need
mhm.
some stuff along those lines for humor reasons.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Puya says there's an ice cream truck next to me, and also I walked past a dude that's naked holding junk over his flowers.
No. So read that
No
again,
flowers
Akiva.
over his junk, Akiva.
Oh, sorry, flowers over his junk.
Yeah.
This is why we don't go outside,
somehow- Puya. Somehow,
Yeah, what is outside? Yeah.
holding flowers over your junk is
Yeah.
the the preferred image over holding junk over flowers.
Well, junk. Well, it's depends whose junk it is, I guess.
Oh my God.
Anyway, yeah,
Oh,
I'm glad you're
no.
outside, Puya. I guess we should
Wait,
all be outside.
Yeah.
Akiva,
but-
can
It's
we
hot
also
out.
get a
It's hot
time check for you of what time of day is it for you right
Watch
now?
the thorns, my guy.
10:51 at night. We're just getting
Okay.
started here.
So it's early for you still.
Oh yeah. We're good. We're good.
Okay. All right. So, Kirsten, are we ready to begin round one, our first hot taker?
I would love to begin round one if you guys are all ready.
Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. The first take of the 2022 hot takeoff is listening to music at home is better than going to a concert.
Okay.
Okay.
Akiva,
Yeah.
you are our, and then this is going up against another take, correct? That's the format. We're going to get 2 takes.
Yes.
Okay. So let's just explore this one. Kiva, you are the resident music
Mhm.
expert on the panel.
Self-appointed. Yeah.
Self-appointed.
Mhm.
Listen to all the new albums that come out. Okay.
Yep. 10
you
a week.
also have traveled far and wide to see Pearl Jam in concert all around the world.
Mhm.
So is it better to be listening to music in your home rather than at a concert?
I had something happen this week where someone said, "Do you want to go to a concert?" And I said, I've never seen them in person, but I saw their live stuff on YouTube and it kind of stinks. And they said, "Yeah, I don't think you could judge from that." And I didn't want to get into a back and forth, so I stopped it there. But like, I think you can judge from that. I think like I need to. You have to pass the YouTube test before I'm going to see you in person.
The YouTube test.
Yeah, but
So
what does that have to do with this take?
Well, he's
Well, I'm-
watching their live album or their live performance on YouTube before he goes and sees them
So
in person.
here's where I think I sort of agree with the take is if you have a band you like and you go to the show, like what if they don't play your favorite song? You know, what if it's, at home you can watch every concert they've ever played on YouTube from the comfort of your home in AC. So to me, that's better. And also concert tickets now are like $400. They're insane.
Okay. Liana, do you have any thoughts on music at home versus music at concert?
Yeah, I mean, you're asking inside people. So like, obviously that's a preferred choice. I think going to a concert, you're not really, I mean, yes, you're there to listen to the music, but it's more just the whole experience and ambiance of the whole thing. Especially now, music is so produced that listening to it at home and listening to it live can sometimes sound like very different. So if you actually just want to like chill and enjoy the music, then I could see, you know, listening from home. I think also in a post-COVID world too, you know, concerts, well, like not so kosher.
So to me, my question is this take hot? Because I feel like the question to me is, do you go to a concert to hear swell music? Or do you go to a concert for the experience of going to a concert? And it's not really about hearing the music better. As Megan, the librarian, says in the chat, I say they have to pass the U2 test. If they are U2, it's good to see them in person. If not, you can just stay home. Like, I feel like that almost the appeal of the concert is to say you saw said act in person, as opposed to I have heard them in person.
So Megan the librarian's like criteria is the band has to be U2.
Yes.
Yeah.
Or else you don't go to it.
Yeah.
And which, like, I said, no, that's a hot take. If she had submitted that, I think that could have made it into the hot take off, because I don't know if you two ever recovered from the anger people felt getting their album just downloaded to their phones a few years back.
And
now, I just want to also clarify, the take does not say that the quality of the music is better at home than the quality of music at a concert.
so what is the hot take again?
It says listening to music at home is better than going to a concert. So basically the take is just that concerts are bad, dressed up a little bit.
Got it.
Which, you know, I don't personally agree to. I love concerts and I miss them very much. And I eagerly await the day I can be in a mosh pit again. But
Whoa.
Okay. So to me, I think this take has merit. I think it is sort of contrary to conventional wisdom that you would think like, oh, concerts got to be better than listening to music. But yeah, I think that this is not necessarily like a banger to start off the hot take off, but I feel like that it's definitely the right idea.
Okay, so what's the take that it's up against?
Yeah, what's it going up against?
yes. Okay, so it is the take it's up against is that, oh God, that's not the one I wanted. Okay, it's against a little bit of a ridiculous one.
Okay.
But it says, move over milk. Orange juice is the best beverage to pair with Oreos.
Yeah.
Okay.
I know. That was
Now,
my
we were warned there
reaction
wouldn't be
too.
a lot of food takes, and we're already
There's
starting
not
with
a
the
lot.
food take.
There's not a lot of food takes. The food takes kind of come in, you know, towards the bottom of the bracket where I was like, okay, who's really gonna round it out? Like, I feel like the top 8 takers were very obvious to me, and then 9 through 16 was a little bit more the maybes came in.
So Akiva, I know that you recently had a cookie bracket. You also long wanted to do an Oreo bracket.
Yep.
Do you think, is there any merit to this idea that orange juice and Oreos, or are people just sending in nonsense hot takes?
Well, I think a lot of the Oreo flavors, if you dunked them in milk, it would like destroy. It would be gross, right? It would like destroy the milk because there's so many like weird chemicals now, and I don't know. Some of these Oreos.
Liana, can you vouch for this?
Does it like what do you mean destroy?
Weird chemicals
Well,
in
it would
the,
just
in
make
the
it such a
Oreo?
weird
down
color.
the
You
proteins?
wouldn't make it. You wouldn't
Oh,
like.
you're
You
saying-
But
wouldn't
it's like
drink the milk
cereal.
out
It's
there.
like cereal. I think that's why people do it, right? Because then you like, you know, it gets a little milky, a little bit of that like protein, you know, and then you have somewhat sweet milk at the end. I don't know. Puya's a milk expert. He can maybe weigh in on this. We had to choose. We were playing a game last night. We had to pick our top 3 beverages, and he picked milk as one of his.
Wow.
So maybe he would have a better understanding of this.
Just to drink or for the utility of it?
No, to drink.
Wow.
I'll admit I drink milk too as an adult as well.
I would say that this is certainly like against conventional wisdom, but to me, I think this does not pass my, the earth is flat test of that. It is actually not true that an orange juice is not the best thing to pair with an Oreo cookie.
But this is at least an opinion versus the earth is flat, which I guess is also an opinion, but it's maybe the wrong opinion. I should also add, as usual, me, Liana, Rob, we also can sub out one opinion in the first round for a whole new set of takes if we want.
You can do that.
Person has backup takes on the ready.
But
Yeah.
I'll admit the backup takes are like, I'll admit they're hit or miss.
Okay. I will also poll the audience to see if this is even a legit idea. Can Oreos be paired with OJ?
I mean, maybe I need to try it.
I
My
used
gut
to.
reaction was just ugh, but I don't know. Maybe it is good. Maybe we're all sleeping on the OJ Oreo mixture.
I used to get frozen yogurt at this place, and they had a strawberry lemonade frozen yogurt, and I used to put Oreo bits on it, and that was delicious.
That sounds
Mhm.
good. The poll I got is this good?
Yeah. Okay. So I think I might have to then launch or I have to, I can end that poll.
Yeah.
You end that poll, and then we'll launch that next one. But to me, I don't even think that this is close.
The music one is what you're going to give it to?
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah. Okay. I was thinking the same
Okay.
because I think there's more debate there also, right? Which I think also important for a hot take.
Yes. Okay. All right. Akiva, do you have any thoughts on this?
Yeah, I think we'll advance the music one here.
Okay. All right.
Okay, perfect.
So congratulations
Easy.
to the concerts. The music at home better than going to the concert.
And also for people who are relatively new here, we do not say the names of the takers until the after the final takes have been read, right?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay.
I will also
we-
just say that was the number one seed took the win there.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You seeded these
interesting.
takes, Kirsten?
Well, no, but kind of.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
I have them in like, I put them in like a general order that like I kind of half seeded them, half randomized it, and then just put them in order 1 through 16.
Mm-hmm.
But
I do
according
hear,
to the bracket.
I do hear about the podcast. Sometimes people say that the opposite of the podcast, well, at least the live show, listening to the podcast, not as good as being there. They don't like it when they hear the podcast.
They're not
from
in on the
live show.
jokes.
Yeah, I guess so.
I mean, I think that's a mixture of FOMO and like it's never as crisp and clear as someone in a nice like studio recording.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay. All right. Got it. All right. I figured out.
You
the
also can't
polls.
pause the live podcast. That's the annoying part.
Yeah, I guess so.
True.
Unless you yell like, "Hey, Paul, can you pause for a second?"
Next live show, I'll do
Everybody
that. I'll be like,
stop.
Rob, I just have
Yeah.
to pee quick.
Everyone
Mhm.
pause your Zoom.
Okay.
Okay,
Oh.
are we ready for the next
Mhm.
take?
Yeah.
Yes.
Can Oreos go with OJ is losing 22-2, by the way. You
Mhm.
cannot.
Okay, fair enough. I would love to meet the two that say yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the next one, listen, there's not that many food takes, but some of them are coming up right away, and I'm sorry for that. The first one is baby food is a delicious snack, especially fruit jars.
Okay.
Okay.
Baby food is a delicious snack. Akiva, did you at any point in your life when you might have
Mhm.
had babies,
Yeah.
did you ever taste baby food?
No, I haven't. I don't think it's as weird as the people who try breast milk, but I think it's it's not for me. I like, listen, maybe it's great. I like the take, like it makes me think like, oh, maybe I should try it, but I don't think it's accurate. Like I think they're probably wrong. They're just
Mhm.
like they're in it for the take. But
Can we
I've
hear it
never
one more
tried
time?
Baby food is a delicious snack, especially fruit jars. And I will say my sister does like baby food.
Yeah, Liana, do you have any thoughts on this?
Okay, so I've never had a baby before,
Hmm.
so I've never had the need to buy baby food. So may I ask a question to those more
Yes,
educated
yes.
on the panel? Is it like applesauce, the fruit?
Yeah,
ones?
yeah. I don't think that this
Okay.
is actually like, I think it sounds wilder than it actually is. So, a lot of baby food, it might be like applesauce or some sort of like applesauce, like strawberry applesauce or something like that. Like, I think like, mashed peas would be
Mhm.
wild, but if they're saying especially the fruit, like, banana, I don't think that is that crazy that you would try baby food and it wouldn't be that bad.
Can I bring up an idea?
Yes.
Is baby food just like a less cool version of a smoothie?
Yeah, it's a smoothie in a jar.
Much cheaper, also.
It's a different texture. No, it's a different texture. I hate applesauce. Hate
You just said you don't
applesauce.
know baby food. Now you're telling us you know the texture.
I know what applesauce is because I
Okay.
hate applesauce. But no, I have not had baby food. But if it's similar to that, like my personal, no, I couldn't eat it. I don't do that texture. No, not for me. But I like this as a hot take though, because I do think like the initial reaction is like, what? And then you see somebody walking around eating out of a baby food jar like an adult, you'd be like, what are you doing? That would be shocking.
Yeah. Could I just hear the wording one last time, Kirsten? That okay, baby food is a good snack.
Baby food is a delicious snack, especially
snack.
fruit jars.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I don't know about like a go-to snack, but okay. I would allow it. What is it up
Madeline
against?
asks, "Is baby food a soup, Kirsten?"
Yes.
Yeah.
Obviously. What else could it be?
Yeah, it's not a sandwich.
I also agree with Liana about applesauce. That's disgusting.
Mhm.
Okay, so the take that it is up against is I almost read the wrong take.
Oh my God.
Fishing is not a hobby. It's just a socially accepted way for introverts to neglect their families and responsibilities.
Can I ask a question about this?
Yes.
Like, if you switch fishing to golf, how would that be any different? You know what I mean? Like, or bowling. Like, I like, why? What's their unique take about fishing?
Well, all I have is what they've written, but my response to that would be, I can kind of see your point about golf because 18 holes of golf can take a really long time. But an afternoon of bowling is very different from like waking up at 5 a.m. and fishing all day. I think it's the time commitment. That would be just what I'm extrapolating. But all we have in writing is that it is not a hobby. It's a socially accepted way for introverts to neglect their families and responsibilities.
Do most people fish solo, or do you have like friends that you fish with?
I feel like you got fishing buddies, right? Rob, have you ever gone fishing?
Not since my time with the survivors.
Oh, so that was the last time you went fishing. What about you, Liana? Have you ever been fishing?
Yeah, I went fishing all the time growing up, and it was a family thing. So to me, it's exactly the opposite because it was a family activity. I mean, I guess maybe it was my grandfather neglecting other things, but I mean, he brought us along.
Kirsten, that I'm sorry to keep going back to this, but I need to hear the wording again because I feel like that some fishermen might be introverts, but I don't think that all fishermen are naturally introverts. And this is like all the fishermen are introverts trying to get away from their families.
Yeah, so I think that comes up just because mostly you're like not really allowed to talk very much when you're fishing because you'll scare away the fish.
Yeah.
But okay, the exact wording is fishing is not a hobby. It's just a socially accepted way for introverts to neglect their families and responsibilities.
I mean,
Tommy Guam is disappointed that the Long Island lads don't fish, but we're indoor lads, Tommy. We're not outdoor lads.
This is where it's wrong. Fishing is a hobby.
I see Puya got sick of the outdoors. He's already back.
Yeah.
Okay, he's brought me orange juice and Oreos.
Oh, we're gonna try it live on air.
Yes,
Look at that.
Are you-
Oh my God, this is like healthy Coke all over.
I like
again.
that he's like just like playing any bit we have for the rest of the episode. There's like a CVS next door, and he's just gonna go help us out.
Right.
Yeah.
Leanna,
Okay.
you're gonna try this?
Yeah, I'm gonna try it.
Okay.
Okay, so keep discussing the take while I get this set up.
So
over
to
here.
me, I feel like that there's just the opening statement of fishing is not a hobby. That to me, I think fishing is demonstrably a hobby.
Yeah, it's only profession for like 3 people. So it's a hobby for almost everyone who fishes, which is a lot of people. I know. I was thinking.
I was exaggeration on the lack of professional fishermen.
Time out. I was thinking
Haven't
about.
you seen World's Most Dangerous Jobs or whatever?
I was thinking about
World's
like
Dirtiest Jobs?
competitive fishing is a hobby. Obviously, yes. There's many people around the world who fish for a living.
Yeah, Kiva thinks it all just shows up magically.
I was thinking about sports. I was just thinking about sports. You know what they say? If you teach a man to fish, he'll have a lot of friends because it's a hobby.
I think this person was traumatized by a gone fishing sign and hasn't recovered.
Yes.
Do you know who gets traumatized by fishing a lot also? the fish. Their families get completely destroyed by fishing.
Yeah.
And then they're like, oh, this is an antisocial activity. I used to have like a sister.
Yeah.
Now, like, someone ate her.
So
Do fish like recognize familial bonds like that?
that's unclear.
Do
In
fish-
Nemo,
I hope
Finding
that's-
Nemo, a
that's
documentary I
true.
saw one time.
Oh,
that's true.
Yeah.
Did.
No,
Oh,
that was
and
educational.
Finding Dory also.
Yeah,
You're
Finding Dory.
right.
Yes.
Mhm.
Now, Akiva, do professional fishermen ever fish in their downtime? And is that a busman's holiday?
That is a busman's holiday. If you go fishing when you're not on the clock, that is a busman's holiday. That is
Mhm.
true.
If you fish for a hobby as a professional fisherman.
Mhm.
Okay, so what was this up against?
This
is
was up
baby
against
food.
baby food.
Oh, the baby food. I think I'm gonna give it to the baby food. If I
Yeah,
had to pick one.
I want to know more about what the baby food person does. Like, they might be a little freaky. I want to know like what else
Whoa.
they're into. They like eating baby food.
I would
It's
like
the second
you
take.
to elaborate on that take, Akiva.
He's the one who went to breast milk. Okay?
Yeah, I think he wants to know if they tried the breast milk also.
I mean,
That's gonna be the second
you
take.
can, I
don't
mean,
know.
people literally buy breast milk on the internet because it helps you get swole when you work
Yeah,
out at the gym.
bodybuilders. Yeah.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So-
These arms are natural. First of all,
Yeah,
Yeah.
we know.
Let the record show.
let the record show.
Yeah, Akiva's all natty. We know.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, like I would say the baby food as well.
Mhm.
Yeah, baby food. Now,
Okay.
Liana, can we circle back to the Oreos and the
Yeah.
orange juice?
Okay. So
Here, hold
yeah.
on. Can I see maybe if I can pin Liana on the
Mm.
spotlight for everyone?
Beautiful.
Okay.
Okay, great.
Mhm.
So we have in a Power of Vino glass.
Yeah.
We have some Tropicana 100% juice.
Pulp or no
orange
pulp?
Juice.
That's important.
Yeah, it is important.
Ooh, I think no pulp. 'cause I
Oh,
don't
good
see
job,
it
Okay,
in
Puya.
yeah,
here.
Good job,
So-
Puya. Yeah.
Yep. All right. And
Mhm.
we have 3 Oreos.
Okay,
So I
plain.
guess
They look plain.
they are. I think they're just
Mhm.
the regular,
Mhm.
no double stuff, just
Yeah.
good old fashioned Oreos. So
Okay.
okay, how do I don't want to screw this up. So what do? I dip it
I
in
would
and
dunk.
then I eat.
Yeah. Don't
Dunk.
unscrew. Yeah.
Okay. All right. So let's try this. There's ice in there. Do you think that's gonna make a difference? I'll try to move the ice to the
Yeah.
side. Okay. All right. We're going in.
Mhm.
All right. Can you see
We
the,
can see it.
Yes,
submerged?
yes,
Okay.
yes,
All right. Here we
yes.
go.
Okay.
We believe you, and we believe in you.
Okay. Liana has bit the Oreo. Sort of a quizzical look.
Hmm.
She looks.
It didn't really do much.
No.
Hmm.
Do you want to like dip? You want to get
Yeah.
more orange?
I think
Yeah.
I gotta soak. Yeah, maybe I gotta
gotta
soak
soak it.
longer.
Yeah, that was
I
a
think-
quick.
I
dunk.
think
yeah, it's too-
Puya
too-
also needs to bring you a glass of milk so you can compare.
Oh,
I will say
Mhm.
I don't think this is gonna beat milk, but you can't. I mean that's tough.
but it's not gross. Have we passed the?
It's not gross. It's not
Okay.
gross.
The hot
Yeah,
take
yeah,
was
yeah.
not. It's not gross to dip an Oreo in orange.
True. True.
Yeah.
Well,
that's-
that wouldn't
Okay.
have made it as a hot take. Like if someone couches their take
Oh,
that much,
that's
I'm
more gross.
More
No,
gross.
The longer is more gross.
like, okay.
Touchdown Tommy. Jason says Touchdown Tommy would rather dip an Oreo in ranch.
Ugh,
Yeah. I
don't
no,
think-
that's worse.
Well, no,
No,
that's
Puya, don't do
Jason
it.
asked.
No, no one bring
Tommy,
me ranch.
And I don't want any ranch talk on this podcast. TBH,
Mhm.
ranch is absolutely disgusting, and honestly, anyone who likes ranch is disgusting to me.
Oh no.
Oh my
See,
God.
you're the-
Wow.
Touchdown, Tommy.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
touchdown Tommy, you're gross.
Okay. All right. So Melissa Elliott also says that
Yeah.
I'm sad that we subjected Queen Liana to
Mhm.
this.
Do you have any other former guests you want to just insult while we're here, Kirsten?
Did
Oh,
anyone else take a shot of ranch dressing?
Not yet, but that's an
Not
episode
yet.
on the wheel.
Then I don't need to say anything else.
Okay.
And I know
right,
Chappelle
what's-
will have my back on this.
Mhm. What's the next set of takes?
Yes, let me just make sure that I'm blocking off the correct takes so that everything is good. Okay. Next is socks are shoes.
Socks are
Socks or shoes?
Socks or
A
shoes.
Oh, I like
three-word
that.
take. A three-word take.
Socks or shoes?
Sometimes you don't have to say anything else.
Socks.
Didn't Hemingway
are
once say like
shoes.
a take in 6 words
Mhm.
is like the shortest take you could do?
Socks or shoes. Liana, do you agree with socks are shoes?
Yeah, I like this. I mean, how do you define what a shoe is? Plus, don't they have those like sock shoes?
Mhm.
The ones
Yeah.
that like you can have your feet in, like
Mhm.
toe sock shoes.
Yeah.
I think there's a thin line, a thin sock line between a sock and a shoe. Maybe we need to expand our definition. Is the fact that like it doesn't have, you can have like like the hospital socks that have the little grippies.
Yeah, the
Yes.
grippies.
That's like
Those
a
are
shoe.
almost
See-
those are almost shoes. I agree, but not every. That sock is a shoe. I wonder if all socks are shoes.
Yeah. So
Are shoes socks?
some socks I think could be shoes, but not all socks are shoes.
Not all. Hashtag not all socks. I would agree.
Wait, what
Mhm.
socks are not shoes though?
Like the really thin socks, like the dress socks that are very thin. Those aren't shoes.
Yeah.
So is it okay? So this is I don't know if anybody has had a pedicure, but sometimes when you get a pedicure, you get those little Kirsten, you know what I'm talking about? Those little like thin flip-flop.
Oh, you don't
things?
even have to finish your sentence. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. Okay. So you get these like thin little flip-flop things that are technically like
It's a shoe.
It's a shoe. And I feel like that is almost as thin as some socks.
It's
So-
thinner than most socks, to be honest. Like it's like a paper flip flop. And if that counts
Mhm.
as a shoe, I think the definition for shoe is wide open.
So the definition of a shoe here, according to Google, a covering for the foot, typically made of leather, having a sturdy sole and not
Mm.
reaching above the ankle. To
Mhm.
me, having a sturdy sole is the very important part of this. That
Yeah.
a
That's
sock
Wait,
does
number
not
one
have.
thing you
boots
want
not
in a mate.
shoes?
Yeah, exactly. Are boots not shoes?
They're boots. They're in a
Hmm.
separate category.
I think they might be.
Whoa.
I thought boots were shoes.
I thought boots were a type of shoe.
Remember Socks? The
Hmm.
Clinton's cat was named Socks.
No, I
Thank
don't
you,
remember the
Akiva.
Clinton's cat. I was born in 1992.
She always
Uh,
flexes how
this
young
is-
she is.
Yeah, so is the Clinton presidency.
It's true.
All right.
Mm.
All right, socks or shoes? It's interesting. I'm not sure. Let this. I think this is a good poll.
Madeline
question.
asks if knee socks are boots.
Well,
There's a
socks- if
conversation
socks
to
are
be had.
shoes- If socks are shoes, then knee-high socks are boots. Yes.
Mhm.
I definitely don't think that passes.
I like
the
this
smell
take
test.
because it's made us think. I do like this take.
Yeah.
Okay, what is the second half of this bracket?
Okay,
Mhm.
so it is against people need to do a better job taking their own genetics into consideration when they're naming a baby. If you and your partner are nerds who have never played a sport in your life, you can't name your kid something like Blaze. They will never be cool enough to pull it off.
Hold on, people are naming babies Blaze.
Blaze. Do you know a lot
yeah,
of? I know like a
Blaze,
pizza shop.
Yeah.
Blaze is a
Like, I
Blaze
know an
the Beanie
American
was
Gladiator.
a character in Harry
Yeah.
Potter.
Okay.
Blaze.
All right.
No, I agree. I don't think I could pull off
Blaze
Blaze.
is just a placeholder for like a cool person name. It could
Hmm.
be any cool person name.
Mary, do you think I could pull off the name Blaze? No, she says.
No.
Yeah, we
Yosef, should we have
know.
named you Blaze? That would be a cool name.
Hmm.
Yes. All right, maybe Banana will have a brother named Blaze. I think that yeah, I hear what they're saying. First of all, it's a very long take. It was like 3 lines there.
Mhm.
I think that it is true. Like I also like as someone with the last name Wienerker, a lot of times you have to worry more about like how does your first name sound with your last name? You know, like is it A, it's long, B, like people could tease you if you have like a name like that. So I do think you should. Well, I don't know why they're saying genetics. Like, is being a
Yeah.
nerd genetic? That's a weird way to phrase it, right?
I mean, I think
Liana's
it might
from
be like if
science.
you're not
Hmm.
athletic, maybe the theory is that that's a genetic thing and that your
Yeah.
kids would not be athletic.
Hmm.
I don't know. I'm not a geneticist or a scientist.
I can't
Mhm.
get behind this one. Let people name their baby whatever they want.
Except Blaze.
I think
To be
this is
fair.
this could-
Nobody is named Blaze.
Michael says Blaze Wienerker would be a great name. Ella, what do you think
Okay,
about the name Blaze?
we'll name our first kid Blaze. I think this is a chicken or
Ooh.
the egg situation,
Yeah.
right? Because if you name a kid Blaze, right? Do you think because they're named Blaze, they'll live up to the Blaze name? Or, right, are you just sort of dooming your child if you don't feel like you could produce a Blaze like child?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I like what Blaze. What did just nickname people Blaze? Like Tommy's saying. Who you says Blaze Boris? See that you also have to factor in the last
Yeah,
name. Who is
Yeah.
right?
No,
All right,
but
Blaze
Blaze
Boris.
is wrong because
Blaze Ambikili is good.
Because Blaze Boris and Blaze Zambikili are great names. And that's
Yeah,
what I
he's
was
wrong.
just
They-
going to
they are
say.
good
I think Lee
names.
is wrong.
They are
They're
good
great
names.
names.
So Keith, I did look up, is Blaze a top 1,000 baby name?
I don't think it is.
And it actually is.
Wow.
so-
Oh,
For 22
wow.
years, it's
For
been in the
22
top
years.
1,000.
yeah,
Holy cow.
it's actually 775 in the US. I mean, not nearly as popular as Braxton.
All right. I like the name Blaze. If you have name a kid Blaze right into the podcast and let us know. But anyway, I think the take is not as good as the take that as the first take here, which was our socks shoes.
Socks or shoes. We polled the audience. Okay. It was phrased socks or shoes ? Only 23% of our participants said yes. 77% said no. That being said, I think it's the better and stronger take.
Yeah, I think it's a better take.
Interesting.
Okay. All right. Socks or shoes? Moving on.
Okay, perfect. We move on. Let me just block off the other. I have to block out the row, or else I'm gonna read the wrong row at some point and mess up the bracket. And I know the subreddit would never forgive me for that.
Never. Don't worry about them.
Kirsten,
I don't really care. Let's be honest. Okay.
Kirsten, what is next here in the 2022 hot takeoff?
The next take is windows are dumb. They prevent you from.
Are we talking about the operating system?
No, the ones in your home, because
you're assuming a lot of things. Okay. Keep going.
They prevent you from putting, well, I mean, not the bunker you're in, apparently, Akiva, but most people's homes have a window. They prevent you from putting things on walls, arranging rooms in certain ways. They're expensive, an easy access point for bugs and intruders, and are rarely even utilized because of shades and curtains.
Windows are dumb. Okay.
Yeah. Oh, there's more if you want to hear. It's a very long take.
Okay.
Akiva doesn't want to hear anymore.
I've got it.
Basically, the gist of the lower half is that like windows were invented to let in light and air and sound, but we have light bulbs, fans, and we actually don't want the sound from outdoors to come in, so they're obsolete.
Okay, Liana, do you have any strong feelings about windows?
I didn't realize that this was a take that I had, but yeah, I think I'm a Windows stan.
Windows stan. Okay.
Yeah, I'm a fan of Windows. Not the fan, but like a fan. I frequently have our windows open.
Yeah, you're not a window fan.
No, I enjoy having the breeze. Not when it's super hot outside, but for a lot of the year we have the windows open.
Wow. Okay. And Akiva, you have any Windows thoughts?
I shut the windows in our house. I don't like them, especially in the winter when in the summer when we have the AC on. It's like I don't need the windows open.
That's smart. That's smart. You keep the windows closed when you have
shut completely.
Okay,
and
that's a good idea.
And no shade is being thrown there at anybody.
Yeah, that's right, because you have curtains.
But I'll say this: we just moved this week at work to the 20-something floor. And I don't like looking out the window because it
too scary.
It's too spooky.
Well, but Akiva, that's a you problem.
You might fall out the window.
Who do you think is the center of the universe, Kirsten?
Not you.
No, I'm just saying, like in my world, I'm the main character, and I don't like
main character energy.
I mean, no offense, Akiva, but I think we all agree that your wife is more of a main character than you are
in my own life. But so here. We not only do we have windows, I don't know if this counts as a window, but we have I guess it is. We have the inside of the building is there's like an atrium, but it goes up all like 30 whatever floors. So you can look down from your desk on one side of the building and see the first floor. Like you can see the whole thing. You can see everyone's workstations on every floor. It's like you could see the whole circle of the building. And it makes me physically woozy to go near it even because I'm so afraid of heights. Anyway.
Okay.
So windows, I don't like windows. Ironically, on a plane, not nervous because no fear of
falling out the window. Right.
No.
Right. Your head could barely fit through it. Right.
Yeah. And listen, if whatever happens,
you can get sucked out that window though. I
guess.
Yeah.
I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So, Akiva, I feel like that you're kind of on board with this.
I don't hate windows, but I think home windows in particular, I hear what they're saying.
Yeah. Kirsten, did the hot taker get into fingerprints on the glass? Because that is annoying.
They did not mention fingerprints on the glass, but I can see how that would be very annoying if you have small children.
Yeah, handprints all over it. Yeah.
I do have a question for Akiva about his office space. Because he seems very concerned that he could fall out. But in my experience, most office spaces, you can't open the windows. So what does he think is going to happen?
I don't. So I don't. It's an irrational fear. I don't think that I can fall out. You cannot obviously open a window on the 21st floor, but I still get nervous going near it. I don't like it.
Okay.
I mean, we used to have like a roof on the 5th floor, and it would make me nervous, but I would still go on it. And if there was a roof on the 30th floor, I would never go on it, even though that's stupid because you'd be dead the same way if you fell off the 5th floor versus the 30th. But I physically would not go up.
I
on the 3rd
don't know
floor.
if that's true. I think 5th floor you could maybe survive.
Okay. All right. What about
Depends
10th
if you
then?
had a soft landing.
Depends where
Yeah.
you land. Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay.
fair enough.
All right.
I'm not going to criticize irrational fears. I'm scared of spiders. So
Okay.
There's one right behind you.
that's not okay to
Okay,
say.
fine. All right. So what is
Say there's a
what-
window right behind him, Kirsten.
All right. Is this
Okay.
going up against something, or did we hear the other take?
Yes.
Yes, it is going up against something. Thank you for keeping me honest. This next take it's up against is just because I don't have kids doesn't mean I can't tell a parent when they're doing bad at their job.
Just because I don't have a kid.
The one thing I would add to that, I don't think it's true in all situations, is that though not all of us have children, all of us have been children.
All of us have been children, but
Mhm.
should people be telling even if you have children, Akiva, have you
Yeah.
ever told a parent that you see out on the street they're doing a bad job?
I mean, imagine walking up to let's
Mhm.
just say, someone NC. We won't say like a real person. NC.
Mhm.
Like, hey, NC, you're doing a bad job with your kids.
Mhm.
Don't worry, I have kids. You're still like, I don't think whether you have kids or not in that situation is going to matter. Like, this person is assuming that people who have kids can go criticize other parents, but then people who don't can. And I think it's the opposite is true, whereas nobody can really criticize people, right? And probably everyone does, unless they're like a teacher. If you're a teacher and you're like, hey, they don't trust me because I don't have any children or something, but I don't think that's
not a thing.
I know, but then I don't
Yeah.
understand what the point is here.
My roommate in college, he wanted to free the leash babies, and that was like a big thing. So I don't know
Yeah,
if this falls
that's
under that
true.
that
Yeah.
category.
That's different. I think
Yeah.
the anti-leashers are like pretty united. I agree.
Were you a leash baby, Leon?
I don't even
No,
think
I
they
was
had
not. My dad
leashes, though.
was. My dad
Oh.
was tied to a tree so he wouldn't follow his sisters to school.
Oh my God.
Okay, I think that's a different level of leash
Yeah.
baby.
Yeah,
I was
that's
a
not a
leash
leash.
baby.
That's-
My mom had a harness on me.
Leash baby.
I was a leash.
I want more
Jordan
about
Taylor
that.
said he
Liana's
goes
dad.
to
Disney World.
Leash baby.
Okay. Hold on. Akiva, have you
Mhm.
considered perhaps becoming a leash person
Mm-mm.
to mitigate the risk of falling out the window?
So I leash
Oh.
myself. That's
Yes.
not a bad idea.
Yes, like a safety harness.
I already do enough things that people are asking questions.
Yes.
I don't
Although you'd
think I
have to
need
get
another
somebody
one.
else to tie the leash
Oh,
rope. Yeah.
What is this, a friggin' roast?
You could just get him one of those like cable systems that runs through his office. He can just
Yeah.
clip and unclip as he goes through.
Clip and unclip.
I'm
Yeah.
trying to think, would it be like the boss in 9 to 5, or would it be like Jesse in the last season of Breaking Bad? It could be bad either way.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think you should criticize other people's kids. I think it's like a angry. I don't know. I don't love this take. I like
Yeah.
the first one better.
I really didn't love the windows are bad, but I feel like
Mhm.
that by comparison,
I agree.
windows are bad. It at least has me thinking a little.
Yeah, they have a weird brain. I want to hear more from what that person has to say. You know.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. Liana, you're also
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good with that.
even as a window stan, you could
Mhm.
sort of see
Noted
the-
window
yeah.
enthusiast.
Yeah, I think it gets the people going.
Okay.
Beautiful. Okay. Are you ready for the next one?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Okay. The next take is Disneyland is not the happiest place on earth. Most people
Okay.
could think of at least 3 places at which they deem happier than Disneyland.
Okay.
Especially with all those leash babies.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A lot
All right.
of places the Disney take could have gone, and this just went for. It's only the 4th happiest place on earth.
For most
Okay.
people.
Mhm.
Yeah. All
Oh,
right.
so like they specified Disneyland, not Disney World.
yeah.
Well, maybe Disney World is the happiest place on earth. I've never been to any Disney park.
Akiva, do you want to reset any of your Disney adult takes?
Not now.
Don't. Matt
I
Ligori's
don't
already
wanna-
mad at me because I talked about Disney adults on Mess Magnets.
I can't even get my children to be, like, hey, Last year, I was like, you guys want to go to Disney? They're like, nah, we're good. Like, I couldn't even get them to go. Yeah. So listen, I have nothing. If that's how you want to spend your hard-earned money every week or whatever, once a month, going to Disney, like season pass.
Yeah, Kirsten, could you just reset the take again? And Disneyland is not the happiest place. There's three happier places.
Disneyland is not the happiest place on earth. Most people could think of at least 3 places which they deem happier.
Liana, can you think of 3 places that are happier than Disneyland?
In front of my windows.
Okay.
Number 1, Oreos with milk. Number 2.
Is that a place?
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's in front of my mind.
Yeah, exactly. No, I think I'm actually surprised, Kirsten, you didn't get more like this, like more takes like this, because I feel like, this is the wave of making fun of the Disney adults, and so
right.
To me, this
is
like
almost like
take.
pretty neutral against the Disney adults. They're saying. They're not like Disneyland sucks. They're just like there's.
It's not the happiest place on earth. It's a branding issue.
I also want to point out to y'all that you are able to sub out takers if you don't like the takes.
Okay. Is that Disneyland or Disney World? Did they?
It says Disneyland. Specifically Disneyland,
which is California. So I feel like that Disneyland probably not as taxing as Disney World, which I feel like gets like hotter and muggier. And it's still, both are crowded. It's expensive. You wait in very long lines. Kids are crying. It's very hard to get anything to eat. So I think that there's probably high highs at Disney, but I think also, as I know from experience, also a lot of low lows at Disney.
I went as a child on a road trip. My dad and I went to Disneyland. We went to Disneyland. We went to the San Diego Zoo and went to Legoland. And I probably would put Disneyland the 3rd on the list there.
Wow.
So I enjoyed the zoo and Legoland much more. Now, I was also a small child, so I don't know if that would influence it. As an adult, I'd probably dislike it more.
So my question here is, all right, I think that I agree with the take, but is it hot?
Exactly.
Is it spicy?
Yeah, I don't think it's so hot.
I don't think it's that hot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
What's it up against?
How many Scoville is this, Akiva?
This is to me, this is like a 2.5 out of 10.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't know what Scoville is judged out of.
It is against another taker, and no offense to either taker, but they weren't the strongest take.
All right, so both of them might get swapped.
So
out.
one of them could easily get swapped out, I think, in this one. I'm gonna choose for the next person the take out of theirs that made me laugh the hardest.
Okay.
Because I just think we all need to laugh sometimes. This take is up against horses should be smaller.
Well, what about like the mini horses? Should those also be smaller?
Sebastian.
Oh my God. Can you wait. Can you imagine a mini horse that's the size of like a puppy? Yes.
That would be very cute.
That's adorable.
Are there any horses that are born like the day they're born? They're like that tiny, or no? They're born bigger?
No, they have like pretty long legs to start.
Yeah. Do all horses need to be tiny? Because I think like a lot of the horse industry would be basically wiped off the face of the earth.
Think about how much smaller jockeys would have to get for horse riding.
But horse racing is animal cruelty anyways,
okay,
right?
But
so if the horses are smaller, it eliminates
horse carriages, and I feel like that.
I don't think Kirsten's a fan of those either. First of all, a lot of
I think that horse carriages are fine but I don't think they should share the same streets with cars. And I say that as someone who lives in a neighborhood that is full of horse-drawn carriages every single day.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Could we get a third take here in this round?
We can absolutely.
What do you want to sub out, Rob? What do you want to sub out?
Why don't we just have it be a three-way dance?
All right, fine. That's what we'll do. A three-way dance.
Okay. I am going to put in.
Okay.
And
the take you're putting in will have corresponding 3 other takes.
Yes, everyone has 4 takes. That's the other thing. If people submitted only 2 takes, I was like, sorry, you're out. Like there's 4 mandatory takes.
Sorry for you, as they say.
Sorry for you. Yeah, as a Survivor man would say.
Have we highlighted that on the podcast yet?
No, I think it was before we got on. Liana, you want to?
Yes. Yeah. Liana, with all of the props today, has the "Sorry for You" T-shirt from the CBS store.
Wow.
I love that shirt, and I'm like, should I buy that? But I have way too many T-shirts already. But it's so funny.
It's a
Liana,
gift from Puya.
do you still have the Tavow shirt where
Oh
they
yeah,
spelled the tribe name
misspelled,
wrong? Yeah.
from Game Changers. Oh, you betcha.
You and
Mhm.
Colin Stone, the only people who still have that shirt. And I
Yeah.
love it. I love it.
Mhm.
Okay. So I'm picking a replacement take and I'm trying to pick a good
Yeah.
one.
By the way, my hat also in honor of Liana today, the Queen of Connecticut, the Hartford Whalers. We got.
Queen of Connecticut.
That's what they call Liana. You didn't know
I mean,
that?
she's
Mhm.
my Queen of
The
Connecticut.
Queen of Connecticut.
Wow.
Oh boy.
Move over, Emily Gilmore.
Most excited monarch. Let's go.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's pick anyone who lives to 90 years old should legally be allowed to do any drugs they want.
Oh, I agree with that.
Yeah.
Right?
I just think that's. I think I feel like I heard that in like high school. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is this take hot?
I don't think it's that hot. I feel like I've heard it before. I want takes that I've never heard before.
Oh my God.
No, I don't mean I'm not criticizing you, Kirsten. I'm criticizing you don't know what I've heard.
I know. Well, first of all, yes, you're right. I don't know what you've heard. And I certainly don't know
lots
what
of
was
stuff.
being shared at your high school.
Yeah, not a lot of drugs because we weren't 90.
99.
Oh, 99
No,
is
it
the
says
take?
anyone who lives to 90.
Oh, 290.
And I agree. That's my like end of life plan. Like
Doing
the
a lot of
minute I'm-
drugs.
Do a lot of drugs.
Oh, if I get
You
a
should
terminal,
do that now, just in
No,
case.
if I get a terminal diagnosis or I like live to be super old, I'm getting addicted to heroin and then I'm gonna go to sea with my cats.
Oh my God. This
Yeah.
got very dark.
to
I'm gonna
see
go
with-
to the sea.
You should.
my
You
cat.
honestly see that's a take. Put in. Hey, if I get old, I'm going to sea with my
Well,
cats. and book
listen,
heroin.
I don't.
You
I
would have
don't
won the hot
need-
takeoff, Kirsten.
I don't.
That's why
listen,
you're the judge.
That's
You're
Look
the
at
why
judge,
that.
I.
everybody.
That's
Yeah.
why I choose the takes.
Why
no
do the
one,
cats have to die?
Yeah, I know. That's kind of
Yeah.
selfish of you.
Yeah.
No, it's like the
Listen.
Egyptians, right? Didn't they get buried with their cats?
Yeah, you take
Yeah.
everything with you.
Yeah, the cat's gonna
Yeah.
eat you.
But here's the thing: not one
Yeah.
take on this entire form meets up with every food is either a soup or a sandwich. That's why I choose the takes.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Madeline says there should be a cute takeoff for the takes that aren't hot, but they're cute.
Cute
Oh, that's
takes
cute.
off. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, I mean that could be a cute way to change things up because I do feel like
Mhm.
the hot takes. It's hard because people. I think people don't really know what their hottest take is.
Oh,
right?
wait. So this is the hottest take of all. You're saying that this should be the final hot takeoff?
I mean, I'm not definitively saying that.
Mhm.
But I do think at some point there's gonna have to be a shift because even then, like Akiva said, oh, the people who've won the prior hot takeoff should get an automatic spot in the bracket.
What about a tournament of champions one day?
Ooh.
where
But
we've
we
had,
like
six-
you,
all
but they've
winners.
used their hottest takes. Like, so what are you gonna
Mm-hmm.
recycle their takes from their original winning hot takeoff? Because they've used that take, right? Like, I think there's diminishing returns to the hot takes, especially considering we cannot define what a hot take is consistently between all of us.
Yeah. What about if we got the RAANAP bot and we had the bot takeoff and Daniel Schiffman had multiple bot takes?
Well, listen, Rob,
Yes.
I have one of the possible substitution takers is the RAANAP bot.
Yes. Okay.
Because the
I
RAANAP
love-
bot generates takes.
I
We've
saw
got
the
them-
RAANAP bot had a lot of hot takes this week.
Yeah, that they've been posting them on Twitter all week long. I did not ultimately put the RAANAP bot into this substitution round because I
Right.
just felt like their takes didn't really
Makes sense.
go.
Yeah.
Mhm.
with
Yeah.
like the ones that they were up against. And so if that was a mistake, I'm sorry. But I figured we would go through RAANAP bot takes regardless.
Kirsten,
Mhm.
can you very briefly just remind us what the three takes are here so we could vote
Okay.
on the triple?
Absolutely, yes. So the first take is the one that Disneyland is not the happiest place on earth. People have three places
Okay.
that are happier.
Mhm.
The second one is
The mini horses.
horses
Mini
should be
horses.
smaller. Thank
Horses.
you.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then the final one was that if you live to 90, you should be able to do any drugs you want.
Hmm.
I think the horse. I'm gonna go with the horses one. By the way, because there's three takes, if there's a tie, then
We have to go to the audience.
will
Yeah.
vote.
So
Mhm.
I'm actually going to say that I'm going to go with, I want to hear what else is from
Mhm.
the mind of the person that says, if you live to 90, you should
Yeah.
do whatever drugs you want. Like I'm not so much interested in that take, but I am intrigued with what else they might have.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay, interesting. Okay, I'm gonna make it a tie so the audience gets to
Ooh.
vote. So
Okay.
I'm gonna go, even though I don't think it's the hottest of takes, I'll go with the Disneyland take, and then we can see what the audience thinks is the hottest of the three.
All right, so
Amazing.
I will get that poll up and,
And
running
this
in a
is
moment.
great because while the poll is running, I'll
Mhm.
disappear for just one moment and I'll be right back.
I am
Okay.
looking at pictures of tiny horses. They are very cute. So
I mean, it was he's a real horse, Lil Sebastian, right? Like that's a real thing. So there are
Yeah.
real
What
horses.
do you think it was CGI?
I don't think it was CGI, but I'm saying that is like a subspecies of horses, right? Like that's a
well, I
the
think there's
thing.
some that are even smaller based on these pictures. All I don't know if they're just like babies, like what the smallest horse is. Because there's one saying here that for the small horses, they can weigh between 150 to 350 pounds. And they're typically 34 to 38 inches tall. That's pretty tiny. I think Lil Sebastian was bigger than that.
Robert, did you watch Parks and Recreation?
Yes.
Okay, so all right, you know Lil
Did
Sebastian.
you call me Robert?
I said Rob and then and it sounded like Robert.
Mhm. Yeah.
So that's what
Okay.
happens sometimes.
All right. We have the poll is open.
No
And-
votes for Disney Sucks and at 30 votes.
Yeah.
It's a two-way battle here.
We
A
polled
horse
the
race.
audience. Disney
drug race.
sucks, drugs for 90, or horses too big. And let's not. I don't want to put our thumb on the scale for right now.
Mhm.
It is very close. We want everybody who's listening live to go ahead and
What does
and
thumb
vote
on the
here.
scale come from? Does it come from like back in the day, like grocers or whatever would be like they'd put their thumb on the scale so they charge you more for like
Mhm.
lettuce?
Mhm.
Is
I
that
think
what it comes
so.
from?
Yeah, I
don't
think
think for
so.
lettuce. I think maybe for like deli meats.
Well, I mean, this may be the I was going to say
Pre-deli?
meat.
Yeah.
So
Pre-deli.
I've-
Butcher.
See, I Googled it says butcher.
It's
Mhm.
butcher.
Mm-hmm.
How
Who
much does
cheats
someone's thumb
customers?
weigh? How much does a cheating butcher? I mean, I guess butchers
Well, I
probably
don't
have
think they
huge
just
thumbs.
gingerly rest their thumb. I think you
Mhm.
force it down, applying pressure, which is
Mhm.
weight. But because otherwise you wouldn't get that much more money out of a thumb.
Right,
Because I don't think
that's what I'm
thumbs weigh that
thinking.
much, just a couple ounces probably.
I wonder
Yeah.
if they had
But that adds
much,
up.
Yeah, they probably
right,
had
that's true.
more like like nefarious ways to like make the scale weigh more. I bet back
Well,
then.
you
butcher?
you surreptitiously use your thumb to apply extra pressure.
Yeah,
That's part of the definition.
okay.
But what if it was like an invisible weight or something?
An invisible.
Not
weight.
a-
That
Literally
doesn't
invisible.
exist. I'm sorry, an invisible weight that doesn't exist now.
all
let
these
alone
butchers-
when
Yeah,
this.
We're bad.
what's going on at these butcher
Their
shops?
invisibility
What?
clothes.
I said it was a lettuce shop. You guys all of a sudden jumped to
What-
butchers.
what's a
I think
lettuce
butchers are the
shop?
class of the.
Mhm.
What?
I
I'm
bet like
sorry. It's a store that only sells lettuce. That doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Farmers market.
Yeah, farmers
But
market.
there's other
With the invisible
vegetables.
weight.
Yeah. I mean, but lettuce. I don't know. Maybe it's a heavier one. I don't know.
Yeah. You often
I
buy
think
lettuce by the
lettuce is
pound.
the lightest
Yeah.
one of all.
All right. Well, what was the final vote, Rob?
Okay. All right. So looks like that it is by a narrow victory. Drugs for 90-year-olds ends up advancing. Ends up with, I think, 56% of the
Mhm.
vote compared to 42% for horses too big. And then
Just one vote for
one
Disney
vote for
sucks.
Disney sucks. Okay.
Poor Disney.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, amazing. Give me just one moment to make sure that all of my
Yeah. Megan, the
the-
librarian, thinks Akiva has never bought lettuce.
That's mean.
Usually you buy a
I never
usually,
What could it cost? $10?
Yeah, you tend to buy a head of
a
lettuce.
head of I mean,
Yeah.
honestly, these days a head of
You don't
lettuce
weigh
could
lettuce?
cost $10, Leon. I wouldn't be
That's true.
surprised.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never bought anything. If I go to the store, it's just to reload on Coke Zero. Like I
Well,
don't.
yeah,
I don't go
that's the
shopping for
thing.
food.
Yeah, I would believe you if you told me you'd never been grocery shopping, Akiva, and I'm
I mean,
jealous.
It's basically true.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. Okay, next takes, everybody. This first take, it's weird. I'll admit. They think that teenagers look better with braces,
I'm not gonna touch that one.
right?
Teenagers,
You want to swap out? Should we swap
Do you
it out?
want me? Do you want me to swap
I-
out? We can
teenagers
swap
look
out.
better with braces. Okay. Leon, you have a very strong reaction to that.
Well, don't
I
think we have to-
am
yeah.
over 18 and don't want to comment on.
Okay.
Well, what if these are teenagers who are
Teenagers.
19?
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. All right, so let's
19
assume
and a
that the
half.
teenager.
Yeah,
Yeah,
19-year-olds only.
Okay.
Um, now, just anecdotally or famously, however you want to, that I personally wore braces very late into my development. that I was in college and I still had braces. And it was, nobody was like, actually, those are working for you, Rob.
Mm-hmm.
That is that, you know.
And Rob, I'll co-sign. I got braces in university, and after the braces are off, I do think it made me more attractive by shifting my face.
It's a glow up.
But the point of while I had the braces, no, not my best.
No, did not help.
Braces
Sapped
seems
my
like a good
development.
PR
Yeah.
campaign to like make them cool. Because I think you could make them part of the, you know, like the attractive. Like if all the people on Love Island got braces, and then you'd be like, oh, braces are in.
So we need braces influencers, is what Liana's
I think
saying.
so. Yeah,
I
get
do
those
think that-
Instagram.
Yeah, I
people
do
on
think
it.
we have a lot of them on the Instagram, but I think it's called Invisalign.
Oh,
Yeah, but are Invisalign braces? I would argue no.
I think not. I think that's the appeal. Yeah.
I think the appeals they're cheaper. No, I know as
I mean, they're still they're still expensive, but it's also hard because adult braces cost so much more than like children's braces. Like if I had been a child when I had my braces, it would have cost under $5,000. But because I was an adult, it was like $9,000 plus surgery. So
yeah. All right.
yeah. One thing you'll realize as your kids get older, Rob, it's like half your money goes to the dentist, basically, and the orthodontist. It gets so expensive.
Okay. All right.
maybe
so,
Rob's kids will have good teeth. What do you know?
Hopefully. But even if you do, the orthodontist probably makes you get braces anyway or something like that. It's a scam.
worse than the lettuce shop.
There's no lettuce shop.
Is Akiva coming out as an anti-dentite right now?
What's the next takeoff?
Oh, right. The next take. Okay. We should rename the sizes for mattresses.
Oh, okay. This is interesting.
Okay.
What should
so twin should be child, full should be adult small, queen should be adult medium, and king should be adult large. And then they say and so on, but I guess the only thing bigger than a king is what, a California king?
Extra large.
Extra large.
What about if we rename the mattress tall, grande, and venti?
Honestly, I'm in.
Okay. So the mattresses go, king, queen, and yeah, why does that have to be the king? Patriarchy.
Exactly.
Right?
We're tearing it down one mattress at a time.
Large, medium, and then was there a small? So twin is small?
Small is the full, right?
Full is small and twin is child size.
Child.
Like
See,
I think they're never going to sell another twin bed to an adult, which if they name
Which
it
they
child,
shouldn't.
they should be allowed to sell them in the store, I guess. But-
Yeah, I think I'm with you on small, medium, large, but I think I'm out on child mattress.
Is it extra small?
It could be
Extra
extra
small.
small.
Well, what if we do it by numbers? So you know how like men's clothes typically have numbers and women's are just random sizes.
Yes.
So we could-
Patriarchy again.
Yeah, so we could do it where it's a 108 incher or whatever.
108 incher. Okay.
I don't know how long are beds.
So how about small, medium, large, and mini?
Oh, that's cute. Like the mini
That's-
horses.
Like, yeah. Yeah.
But what would be a mini in your mind? Is a twin a mini?
A twin is a mini.
Should it be a twinnie then?
A twinny?
Ooh, 20.
That's
So
a twin.
No one's
I don't
going
even
to buy the
understand why
mini.
it's a
We've
twin.
completely
What
moved the minis out of the market at this point.
Mhm.
What would the name be for the extra long twin that like dorms have? Would it just be like
Ooh.
mini long or
Yeah, again, it's like, how
mini
you
plus?
can buy short, you can buy pants, you can get like long or short pants or regular. So it's the long short mattress, long small
I love
mattress.
that.
I don't know.
Yeah, 7-inch inseam bed. Basically.
Yeah.
So to me, I actually think that this one is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
well,
this
I don't
person
agree
might
with
have more going
the
on.
whole take.
Mhm.
I want to know where this person is going.
I did say once on a podcast that I don't know the size of our bed in our bedroom.
Yeah,
Like I know it's big.
Yeah.
No, I found out from listeners saying I'm a baby. Basically,
You're a
said.
baby.
They were like insulting me. They're
Yeah.
like, "You're not a real man."
I
You don't
mean,
have the size of your bed."
Akiva, you probably have a queen size bed. Most people that are like an adult have a queen size bed, especially if obviously you're living with someone else, which you are.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's probably a
brag.
queen.
Now, Akiva has also said famously that couples should have their own bed.
Own beds.
Yes.
Yeah, but that's not a hot
Two
take.
minis
That's
in
not
one
a-
room or two,
No,
two
I mean, to
mediums?
me,
Two
that's a
minis,
hot
no.
take. No,
And even
I
I'm
like to
too-
cuddle.
Beds also aren't like, they're wide enough, but I also think most beds are not
Tall enough?
tall enough, and I'm short. I think
Hmm.
beds should be much longer.
Much longer. Okay.
Like,
what-
even in like the massive
You want-
hotel beds I was in like last
180
year,
incher?
I feel like my yeah, that's why I don't think beds are actually 108 inches.
But you
like
want
that.
the bed. You want the beds to be bigger because you're sleeping, you're eating, you're podcasting. You do it
That's
all
true
in the
also.
bed.
That is
Yeah.
true, especially when I'm in a
Akiva
hotel.
wants
Oh my
a
God.
bed the size of a studio apartment.
I was gonna say you
All
should
bed.
consider converting your floor into just a
bed.
mattress. Yeah, just the
The
full
whole
thing.
thing is bed. The whole
Yeah.
thing
Okay.
is bed.
So I
Akiva-
think we need to be a little bit more creative about the mattresses because there's a bunch. There's like Texas King, California King,
California-
Alaskan King,
Oh,
which is
what-
which is
Mm.
What's
108
the
inches,
difference?
by the way.
Yeah.
The size
Air
is all
conditioning's
about
better.
the dimensions.
Well,
Yeah.
you know, I was just talking about this on I podcast about Seeking Sister Wife with Jason Reed earlier today, and they had 4 people sleeping in a bed. And we tried to even guess what size mattress did they have.
Wait. The sister wives have to sleep in the same bed too?
They choose to.
Absolutely.
I think
not.
that's rare. I think that's rare.
Hmm.
Hmm.
I would never be a candidate for being a sister wife, so I don't know
Okay.
why I'm commenting on their
Okay.
It
choices.
just for the Alaskan King, it's best for sleepers who want a mattress for the family and have plenty of room space.
Family
so
mattress. I'm out.
Okay.
love
Yeah, I
having
know
plenty
a
of
lot
room
of people do the co-sleeping. Kobe and Emily could really use this in 90 Day
Mhm.
Fiancé.
Yeah, with the
It's
yeah, they
true.
were mattress shopping.
But they want the vibrating mattress.
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh.
That I think that's the bed. I don't think the mattress technically vibrates.
Oh, see, that's the
suspect
insight
it's the
Kuya
bed
and I
frame.
needed
Yeah.
on the podcast.
I don't think they like. Again, I might be wrong about this. I don't suspect they make a vibrating mattress.
Well, let me Google
That'd be
it.
expensive.
I feel like it's the bed. The bed probably.
Is it? Does
vibrates.
this have to go up against another take?
Yes, it was up against adult braces make people more attractive.
Oh, we're getting the break. We don't want to know what else
Yeah,
that
yeah.
person wants to think is. This is going to win.
Oh yeah, there's
And-
vibrating mattresses.
Because the actual
Damn.
mattress. Yeah.
Hmm.
You would think
It's
it'd
the
be easier.
most advanced and effective thing, apparently.
ever.
You can buy one on
It's-
Wayfair.
Is that their?
Oh,
that's
wait,
probably
wait,
like
the
a-
pinnacle. We've
Wait,
done
like
it.
you
there's
can
probably
you
like a
can get
person
a
in the mattress
mattress
then
that
doing the
vibrates
vibrating.
and heats up. I wouldn't want
Mhm.
my bed to heat up, but
Mhm. Yeah,
I don't know.
Hmm.
get risky. Yep.
Mhm.
Akiba, would you like a room that was all mattress, no windows?
Yeah, that's what Liana's pitching here, and I think I'm in.
Mhm.
I
So like a
think, like-
padded room.
Yeah, like a padded room.
Yeah, we can get you
Like a
some
straight
grippy
jacket.
socks.
That
while
has
we're
like
at it,
mattresses on the
Akiva.
wall too. The wall is bed.
The wall is
All
bad.
that- I mean,
I do like it.
Oops, all
Mhm.
bed.
here's
Oops, all
here's
bed,
the
no window.
thing. Listen, I'm interested. Maybe I should live in a padded room.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Be
Would
good for
make sense.
podcasting.
Oh,
Yeah,
it'd be
that's
great
true.
for podcasting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Akiva
Yeah.
could stand up and feel like he was laying down in a padded room when he
Mhm.
podcasts.
Yeah, against the
Ooh.
wall.
Kind of.
Megan, the librarian, says
Lean.
you'd never stub your toes.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Think
So we're
about it.
voting.
So
we're
mattress.
advancing mattress here, and what's
Mhm.
next?
Yes.
Okay, Mac.
Okay, so
Next
sorry,
fir-
let me
ne-
just block off the one that you did not take.
How many first round matchups are left?
Are we halfway done, or are we 5 done?
You have two, there's two more.
That's
First
not
round
bad, okay.
matchups. Okay.
And the one that one was
Mhm.
that one. It's I got Randy Newble to send me like a Google
The
Doc of what the
Bracket looks
bracket would look like, but then I just drew one on in a notepad because I didn't want to have to fill it in electronically. This is
Got
the
it.
benefit you get to having me on your podcast.
like. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, the next take is, and okay, wait. I'm not gonna share.
I
that
like
one
when Kirsten
first.
gives her like, not like full opinion of the take, but like a little sneak peek.
Little
of what the take
precursor.
is.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
I'm changing the order of this person's takes because
Okay.
I think they're not. Listen, okay. The takes overall, I think were better than previous hot takeoffs, but that doesn't mean that each individual taker has like a higher quality of take. I still think that most people don't know what their hottest take is. That's
Okay.
what I'm.
Ah,
going with.
okay.
Okay.
Got it.
Listen, this might not even be a hot take. I don't know. Okay. North America should adopt the siesta system. We all like a midday nap and we're flagging at 3 p.m. anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I do almost always take a nap midday, but it's very short, like 10 minutes.
Oh, well, that's a cat nap. That's not even a siesta. Siesta's like an hour. That's a cat nap.
Siesta's like when things close for like 3 hours in the afternoon.
Yeah, that's too long. That's too long.
First of all, like shops are closed, restaurants are closed, and sometimes it's like still almost lunchtime. They're like, we've had like lived in buildings with old people, and like they don't want the kids playing between 2 and 4
because that's nap time.
Yeah, because that's nap time for them.
Gotta get a
there's even parks you can't
machine.
go to. Yeah, no, these old people are like, they keep to it. So I think the siesta culture, like at least the 2 to 4 of it, is like not super kid friendly.
Yeah, cut that down.
I mean, maybe if the old people were doing drugs, they would be less picky about the noise around them.
Good point. I'm nap friendly, but I don't think we need mandatory naps.
Yeah. Or maybe if the old people were trying cocaine, they wouldn't need a nap.
Oh yeah, they'd be up all day and night.
Yeah, they'd be fine.
Can I share a story about old people who really made me mad yesterday, or is this a safe space for that? So
are there drugs involved?
Wait.
Not that I know of.
Are the old people in your story like 42?
No, they were like,
okay, boomer.
First of all, I don't think that 42 is old. Okay. Second of all, no, they were like old ladies, like white hair, like old. Okay. So I went for a hot girl walk yesterday with Tori from the Ready to Be Petty podcast. Sure. My only friend in Victoria who I don't know through work. Although I guess I kind of know her through work, but a different work. Anyways.
Does podcasting work? Trivia question.
I mean, yes. So we were walking on a path, and it's a shared path, cyclists and walkers, pedestrians. There were like 7 people coming in the opposite direction. So we had very little of the path to ourselves. And then the 2 oldest women in the world came up behind us, ringing their bell, like, get out of the way. And I was
on
like,
bikes or on walkers?
Yeah. They were on bikes. And so we had to get off of the path so that these old ladies would stop ringing their bell at us when they could have just waited 30 seconds and the oncoming traffic would have been gone and they could have passed us. And so I was very irritated with these old ladies.
Were they clipped in? They're like professional old lady bikers. Okay. Like they got their shoes clipped in. Sometimes can't clip out in time to stop, and just trying to understand the situation.
I would be more understanding of that.
Also, how did you know they were the oldest ladies in the world? Did they have their like Guinness Book of World Records out with them?
They were wearing sashes that said oldest women alive.
I'm always staying woke on the anytime someone claims to be the oldest person in the world, it's like, yeah, there's no record of them being born, and we just found out about them a year ago. But like the AP,
if there's no record of them being born, I think that really indicates that
there's someone now who's like in the 120s, and like it's very sketchy to me.
Yeah,
it's very sketchy.
You think they look a day over? Scamming the system.
They don't look a day over like 103.
I guess there was no reason for me to share that take about the old ladies, but I just was like still mad about it. Do you want to hear the second take that the siesta system is up against? So this one says, social media should only allow you to 1 post per quarter of your children/babies.
Oh, I think this.
Okay. I was gonna say Chappelle's really in danger if he can only.
Oh my God! Once. Yeah.
1 post a quarter of the babies
per quarter. So 4 posts a year. What about like the people who like to do like the month thing? Like, hey, I'm 6 months old or something. Like for their baby.
I mean, I think
first year of the baby's life.
People they like to post the monthly picture of their baby, and again, I much like Liana, I've never had a child, so I don't think I can comment on that behavior.
1 post per quarter on your kids. People want less kid pictures. Different than the taker before, who wanted more kid pictures. They just had to be embraces.
Well, that is what people say. The thing that's the real problem with social media. Too many people posting pictures of their family. That's really,
that's
one of
issue.
The ills of society. When are people gonna get back?
This person wanted more like
talk.
Well, that's what Elon was gonna do if he bought Twitter. Didn't you guys hear that?
Okay.
So too many baby pics.
And what was this up against? Or is this the
braces or old people?
No, that.
Wait, no. This one was against the siesta system. Everyone should midday nap.
I think siestas is a lot better than 4 baby pictures a year.
4 baby pictures a year is very specific.
What if you have more than 1 kid?
That's true. They all have to
I think you get them in the same photo.
No, I think it would be one per. I think the thought of this is like, obviously, if you have a baby every 30 days, you're seeing a huge change in the baby. But, you know, maybe strangers seeing that picture online aren't seeing enough of a change month by month.
Mm-hmm. I also like the idea that it's like 4 quarters. Like, all right, Q1 baby pick. Like, here's the report on how it did.
You have to really think about it. Like,
Yeah,
the
it's like-
stats.
It's like, all right,
Yeah.
we're seeing 17% drop in likes from Q4 of 2021.
Well, but you could
Mhm.
also in there, you could be like looking at the percentage increase of like life skills in the baby. Like, wow, in this queue, they
Mhm.
learned to walk, they moved on to this type of food.
Right.
They
Yeah,
like,
but if
you
someone
know,
posts too many pictures of their baby, just unfollow them. No.
That's seemingly
well, I mean, if people
out of
post too much of
bounds, yeah.
anything, and mute them or unfollow them.
yeah. I think the siestas is to me, and I don't even agree with it. I think that I'm more on board with that one.
I'm gonna pick the babies because I don't really care about your children. I don't really care about you, so I probably don't care about your children either.
Okay.
So I'm gonna go with the babies.
Babies. All right, one more. This person sounds like angry about something. I don't think it's a good take, but I'll also go with the baby person. We do have one more.
Wow.
We do have one more swap out for the final set of takes here.
The one thing that I would say, Rob, to you is if we went to a siesta culture, most of your podcasters who work during the day would suddenly have like a 3-hour window.
But
But
where
are they
could
allowed? Are
record
they
with
allowed to
you.
podcast during siesta time, or do they have
I mean,
to take a
I don't think it's
government-mandated
like
nap?
I don't think it's like
Mandatory
a
nap.
fascist nap empire.
I think in France, there's like. I think in France, it's like fascist nap. Like, I think you'd have to like pay them double to podcast during siesta time.
Mhm.
You're not allowed
Yeah.
to. You're not allowed. Like, they have to like leave. In France, they're not allowed to like sit in the office. They can't even eat in the office. They have to like go out
Yeah.
to eat.
Well, could we
Well,
say
that's
like,
'cause
well,
you shouldn't eat in the office. You shouldn't eat while
Oh.
you're working. It's not good
No,
for
but
you.
what if you
Take
have-
your break?
We don't eat at our desk, but we have like a cafeteria where we
I
eat.
think
So
that's
not eating in the
very.
office.
I think that's very different. I think in
Mhm.
France, if you needed to eat in the cafeteria, that's very
Nope,
different.
they
than, like,
can't.
eating
I
at
think
your
they
desk.
can't eat at their in their
Do you
building.
now? Do you know that for sure?
I read it once, but no, I don't. It could
Where
have been
did you-
fake. Could have been fake news.
Well, did
Yeah.
you read it or was it in a TikTok? Tell me the truth, Akiva.
Kiva doesn't have TikTok.
Yeah, I only know
Uh.
TikToks of if they're like breakthrough enough that one of my kids sends them to me.
Okay, let's go to the last first round matchup.
That fourth quarter is going to be tough between between
Christmas,
Halloween and Christmas,
Thanksgiving,
like
yeah.
or Hanukkah pictures.
Can you save it if you lose? If you don't use it, do you lose it, or can you do like two?
No.
Can you skip maybe the sprint?
Jocelyn in the chat suggested post once each quarter, but there's one monthly pick, like 4 monthly picks in the quarterly post.
So
And I
it's
think
like
that
a montage or a
Oh.
collage.
I think that the photo dump is definitely a way to get away with it.
Okay,
Mhm.
fair enough. As long
Yeah.
as they're in one thing. Well, the one good thing Facebook did, like the only good thing is like you would dump like 100 pictures at once, so you didn't have to look at any of them. It's just like a clump. Whereas in Instagram, I mean, you can sort of do that, but people, spread them out more, I think.
Okay.
Okay,
right.
so the last matchup of the first round. The first round always takes the longest. I'm sorry, everybody. So this one is people should be charged a price for flights based on how many times they've been to the airport. If you haven't been to the airport before, or only a few times, you should have to pay more for the inconvenience you cause everyone else by not knowing how to do anything in the airport.
Mm.
Was this my dad who submitted this take? Because
Yeah.
that's him.
Is
Mainly
your
the security
dad's
line,
name Delaney?
though. No.
Then no.
That'd be a cool dad.
Well,
name.
this is interesting a little bit because
By the way,
I feel
Leanna's
like-
dad's name is Blaze. Ironic.
Mhm.
I know.
Yeah, if you
Full
are
circle.
using the airport a lot, and
Yeah.
especially like a specific airline a lot, I mean, you are a repeat customer. Maybe you are buying bulk.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how like good drivers get lower car insurance rates?
Yeah.
Right. So maybe there's something like that we could implement.
Do you want to
to
say
Frequent
the good
flyer.
what? Good what, Liana? Good flyers get lower rates? Is that what you're
Yes.
trying to
Yeah. Yeah.
say? Okay. I would be flying for free
Frequent
then.
good
Mhm.
flyers. Yeah.
Mhm.
No
Okay.
one said it would be
Hmm.
free, Akiva.
Yeah.
Huh.
So if you
Just
fly
discounts.
enough, your tickets should cost less,
Yeah.
unless you're a pain in the butt at the
Yeah.
airport.
What if you
Yeah.
fly a lot, but you're bad at it also? It's like
Yeah,
you
I
could
bet-
drive a lot, but suck
I
at
bet
driving,
there are
right?
some frequent flyers who are real like pieces
Mhm.
of work.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you know who I am? I'm at this airport twice a week.
Mhm.
Real piece of work.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What's it up against?
One moment. I may have done something wrong with this chart.
Oh no.
In the
Oh no, I
meantime-
didn't. No, I didn't. I just wrote down the wrong number on mine. Never mind. We're good. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine, everybody.
Everything's good. I apologize. I just can't read my own writing, which is fine because I wrote this down at like 5 a.m. when I woke up today.
Mhm.
Okay. Cheating on a test with no remorse makes you a bad person.
Okay.
Cheating on a test.
Now, Akiva, you went to a school that
Yeah.
had
Rampant.
prolific cheaters, but you didn't cheat.
Right, but I don't think the people who did were necessarily bad people. You know, Ernst & Young just got fined $1 billion because all of their, many of their, accountants, like entering accountants, got caught cheating on an open book ethics test. So they got fined $1 billion.
Wow.
It's ironic.
I mean, yeah, but it's open book also. Like,
Mhm.
I
How do you
don't know.
cheat on an open book test?
I think like someone gave them the answers or something. It's a good question.
I mean, I think in my first year morality, ethics, and virtue course in university, you were allowed to bring 1 page of a cheat sheet, but people were Googling shit on their phones. So like, there's a difference between open book and cheating, I think, in
You're a
that
bad person if
situation.
you cheat on a test. I don't know.
And
I
you-
think if
and
you
you don't-
narc on the people, you're worse.
Ooh,
Like the
Akiva
people who
hates
are like
scabs.
anti.
I love it.
Yeah. Let's get a third take in here. Also, one last take, just because we can.
Yeah.
We got
Okay,
one more.
Liana, as somebody who's taken a lot of tests, do you have any strong feelings about this?
I mean, the take is it's so not hot, right? It's like you do something bad and you don't feel bad, you're a bad person.
Mhm.
Yeah. A little basic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you
it's
ever have to?
basic.
Do you have to teach ever, Liana, or just?
I
you're just in
had
the
to
lab?
teach when I was in graduate school. I don't now.
Okay.
But yes, I did, and caught 2 kids plagiarizing.
Did
So
they
it was
feel
very
bad?
exciting. They sounded remorseful, but you could never tell for sure.
Okay, my favorite thing working in post-secondary is that, so I worked in the residence office, and so like you can't really move off campus unless you're like expelled or drop out, basically.
Mhm.
And so like when people would try to move out, I would have to be like, well, but why? Give me the documentation. And someone once gave me a letter that was like, you've been given a year suspension from law school for plagiarism, so you can't be a student the rest of the year. And that was like so juicy. I loved it.
Yeah, I caught a lot of kids plagiarizing as an English teacher, including one guy just basically copy and pasted a Wikipedia article and
Ooh, embarrassing.
insisted that he didn't, and his parents like sort of took his side. It was like he didn't switch one word, but
Oh,
he's
wait,
like,
but
it's a
so-
coincidence.
No,
What
maybe he
you-
wrote the Wikipedia article.
Honestly, that would have been
A better argument.
a really good argument.
Well,
like
what-
I know
I'm
so
gonna
much
use
about.
that next time.
What year was this, Akiva, that you were teaching and like catching people plagiarizing?
It was 2010.
Yeah, see, I feel like that's like right on the borderline of the parents understanding what Wikipedia is.
Right, that's true. The parents weren't really
Like
fun.
in 2010, that's when I graduated high school. If I was asking my parents what Wikipedia was, I don't think they could have told me.
But I also
Honestly, my dad might not be able to tell me now.
there also are a lot of tools, and even there were then, but maybe not when I was in school, to like catch people cheating by submitting the whole paper.
Mhm.
So like in theory, we didn't have that when I was a kid. Anyway, are we getting one more take here?
Yes, so we have one more replacement take, and it is that robots should be taxed. They're replacing human jobs and should be regulated as such.
So
How do you tax a robot?
yeah,
It's the
I
owner
guess
of
the person who
robot?
created it.
the person that created the robot.
I
mean, I
think
feel like the
it's more
company
so
that
like exactly, yeah, the company that has the
No,
robots.
Kirsten
like,
wants to tax the
replacing
employee, not the.
humans.
She likes the corporation.
so
Hey,
okay.
excuse me, how dare you?
So hypothetically, if a robot is doing the job of a worker, the company should have to pay that wage of the worker, perhaps, to what the government.
I mean, at the very least, they should have to pay the amount that would go to the government from an employee doing that job. I think that's what this take is saying.
Hmm.
Tommy Guam says robots need a union.
Yeah,
Solidarity.
They could
Yeah,
unionize.
robots should unionize.
Hmm.
I
Listen,
want to
my
hear more
union
from the robot
disorder.
person. Honestly, I'm going to vote the robot person in.
What are the 3 takes that we're
what are the
debating?
three
Okay,
right
so
now?
we've got the robot take.
Mhm.
We've got people should be charged more for flights the less they fly, basically.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we've got cheating on a test with no remorse
No.
makes you a bad person.
Okay. feel like that one's out.
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
it's
I
between the
went robot.
robots or the flights.
Yeah.
Okay. Liana, I'm going to say that I'm going to go with the flights. I think that that's an interesting metric that like I think maybe, you know, the airline industry has a lot of problems. Maybe charging the people that are just like trying to get away for like, you know, one trip a year, charge them more. And the people that are keeping the airlines in business, letting them pay less.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that one as well. I'm just pro tax corporations, so I'm like all for the robot tax. I don't know how much they would pay, but to me that's not as hot as maybe the flyer take. So I agree
This
with
is a
Rob
big
here.
idea. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. And I will just expose for the record, the robot take actually came from the RAANAP bot itself. So I would love to know how much
Wow.
tax the RAANAP
Oh.
bot pays.
You don't need
That's
to
pretty
worry
ironic.
about that. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, perfect. Okay,
right.
so I don't know why okay, sorry.
Could we hear the RAANAP bot's other takes?
Mhm.
Yes, of course. So the RAANAP bot's other takes. So they went through, the RAANAP bot generated a ton of takes, and then Daniel Schiffman and Amanda Rabinowitz, the creators of the RAANAP bot, the two most invested people in the
Right.
RAANAP bot, chose the
Mhm.
4 best
Basically,
takes to submit.
they're the RAANAP bot's
Their parents.
Yeah.
They're
They're
parents.
RAANAP bot's
Yeah.
parents.
Yeah.
And so this is their like one time a quarter when
They
they can
co-parent.
post about their baby, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the first take was obviously robots should be taxed. The second take was Greek salad is the most overrated salad. There,
Mm.
I said it. No one should order it, and no one should eat it when it's offered because
Liana,
it's 9/10 water and vinegar dressed up with a little feta and olives, and it costs $14.99.
wow.
Oh.
Wait, no, there's
It's a
more.
detailed
There's
take.
more. It's not that it's bad. It's fine. It's just too expensive
Mid.
and too mellow to make the top
Very-
of your
it's very
summer
mellow.
salad list.
Yes. Liana, what do you think about the Greek salad?
Yeah, it's interesting coming from the RAANAP bot, who, as far as I'm aware, does not consume
Yeah.
food. So it's like
Yeah.
a little sus that they would have.
Seems
to
like a
make,
not
but-
him problem, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Wait, do you know the RAANAP bot's pronouns?
No,
No,
I think it actually
it's
is
a
she, her.
her.
Actually,
yeah,
yeah.
I think so. Because
Mhm.
isn't yeah,
Yeah,
has a
Vicky,
daughter, I
yeah.
think maybe.
Yes.
Or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
So yeah, I don't know. That's very interesting.
Akiva, $14.99 for a Greek salad. Do you think that somebody had their thumb on the invisible weight on the lettuce?
It's very
scale?
possible. I also don't eat
Yeah.
olives, so I've never tried a Greek. Greek
Wait.
salad.
You don't eat olives at all, or like you've never tried olives?
No, I've tried them. They repulse me. It's my least
Okay,
favorite
fair
food.
enough.
Have you been
Fair
to the
enough.
Olive Garden?
I've never been
When
to the
you're
Olive
there,
Garden,
your family.
Yeah.
but I mean,
Too many
Applebee's
olives.
doesn't really serve apples, so I think you could avoid
Or
olives.
bees.
I feel like Applebee
Orbeez.
is maybe somebody's last name.
Oh, that's probably
It's a
true.
person? Really?
Stop by old Applebee's.
Let's see. Hold
Okay,
on.
Applebee's name origin.
Yeah.
Is Chili's also
Applebee
a
is
person?
an old English surname.
Yeah. So
Isn't
you're-
Chili's
Wow.
possessive?
So
Like
it indicates
It was
someone
started
who
by
lives
Bill
near
and
an
TJ
apple
Palmer.
orchard, or someone who farmed apples. That's where
Mhm.
Applebee comes from.
Yeah,
It's
there's
also
no
might
person.
be
There's no
a
person.
Viking.
Applebee.
It's of
Viking.
Norse Viking origin.
Okay.
Okay, so there's
Mm.
Chili's Bar and Grill also, and Chili's is like apostrophe S, like it's
Mhm.
Chili's Bar and Grill. Is Chili
Mhm.
a person
No, I
Maybe.
think that's referring more to the chili pepper itself.
Yeah,
that
but
owns
but-
the bar and grill?
A pepper
That's
owns it?
impressive.
A pepper
Mm.
could
Do
own
they
a
owe
bar and grill.
taxes?
I don't
Mhm.
know. I
Yeah.
hope the pepper pays
Is
tax.
the pepper
The-
a robot?
The pizza shop co-owned by LeBron James, Blaze Pizza. I assume that guy's name. Of course,
Yes.
it's Blaze.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
All right. All right.
Okay,
So
Do you want more?
Yes.
RAANAP
Give us
bot take?
give us the other one.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
the next one is there are few better feelings in the world than being irrationally angry at a movie. I don't care if it's a good movie. I don't care if it's a fun movie.
Yeah.
I don't care if it's a
I
good
like
movie
that.
with fun parts. Movies are long and often high budgeted, and it's fun to get upset about.
Yeah,
them.
That is true.
It is fun to get mad about
Yeah.
the budget of a movie.
Yes.
Like, that was
One of my favorite
wasteful.
pastimes.
Yes.
It was fun, but it was
Mhm.
wasteful. Yeah.
$14.95 million.
I
That's so
Mhm.
Yes.
expensive.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And then RAANAP bot's
Too
last
mellow.
RAANAP bot's last take is music is better without vocals.
Oh, okay.
Okay, we need to ask RAANAP bot about concerts.
Yeah,
Yes.
I was really impressed with RAANAP bot's takes. I feel like we had some RAANAP bot takes last time, and they were good, but they were not as good as these curated takes.
No, these are very good. Okay.
Yeah, these are good.
All right, round two. So we're going to
Round
hear
two.
the second takes from the 8 takes that have
Yep.
advanced.
That's
Yeah,
right.
That's true. And we may have to go a little faster, so this isn't a 4-hour podcast.
Okay,
Okay.
well,
I mean,
maybe if we had started on
It was
time
for
to do
you.
that.
I'm not in a rush. I don't know.
I mean, I
okay.
think we're okay. We're about,
Okay, good.
an hour 30 minutes into this.
We're doing okay.
Okay.
Okay, so the next one.
We
what-
can do a
oh,
quick mailbag. Yeah.
Look at me.
Yeah,
I
well,
was
very
looking
quick
at the raw data instead of the actual bracket. And I was like, these aren't the takes. Okay, so the first take we're gonna hear here is sitting in the shower is the best way to shower.
Ooh, okay.
I used to have famously, I tweeted out at one point that sitting in the shower is for hungover people and perverts, but I've come around on that take.
Perverts.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so sitting in the shower is the best way to shower.
Do you want to, Kiva, any thoughts on sitting in the shower?
Puya's booing. I don't know. Is he booing? Is he booing the perverts part, or is he booing the like Kirsten's take or the actual take? I don't know.
Listen, I spend about half of my shower sitting at this point in time.
What?
Mhm,
The
mhm.
he's-
You have a
he's
chair?
Hungover. Yeah.
No,
Well, how about this? Do you,
'Cause you're a
some
pervert?
showers. So like
maybe.
if it's a shower / bath, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a bathtub in your shower. Then if you're
Step
gonna
in your shower.
sit,
I don't think that's what
why
it's
don't you
called.
just take like a? Why don't you just take a bath and like use the hose to like? I don't know. Like what?
Well, okay,
what
first of all,
Take
not
a
every
bath and
shower
use
has
the
a
hose.
hose.
Yeah.
whatever it's called.
Weirdo.
The sprayer. I don't know.
Well, okay, so I sit down in the shower because I put the conditioner into my hair and it needs to sit for a couple of minutes.
Oh, interesting.
And so I sit down, I wash my face, I shave my legs, I just vibe a little bit.
Yeah.
Why should I have to stand while I'm waiting for something to sink in?
Okay. Leon, any thoughts on shower sitting?
Yeah, I enjoy sitting in the shower. Because also like shaving my legs too
Yeah.
as well. That definitely helps, and it's always a very pleasant experience. There's something about being far enough away from the hose that just like
As it's called.
it just feels different. You know what I mean? Than when you're
Yeah.
like right up there. So
Well, the
Okay.
hot water. Yeah, I wonder how the hot water feels if you're just like lying.
Well,
on
you
the
just
ground.
you turn the water
Lying
up
down.
just a little bit so that it feels as hot when you're laying down as
Right.
it does when you're up
Okay.
close to it.
Well, Kirsten, could you just say that take one more time?
Sitting in the shower is the best way to shower.
Best way. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
And then it is up against wow, going to the dentist is amazing. It might not feel amazing at the time, but the feeling after is unbeatable.
mm.
A lot of
having
dental
clean teeth.
takes. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people. Maybe there's like the dental lobbies getting in here.
Well,
Um,
9 out of
Dent-
10 dentists agree.
I wonder if the dentist influencers are already.
do
Getting
you want to know the original takes for each of these people from round one?
No.
No,
Right?
no, it'll
Okay.
put the thumb on the scale.
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe in the final round. we
Yeah, in the
can
final
also-
round, you'll
yeah.
tell us. Yeah, that's a
Okay,
good call. That's a
okay.
good
Yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. But see, to me, like I feel like that sitting in the shower, as the panelists have told us, like it's good for occasionally, but is sitting in the shower the best way to take a shower? Like I feel like that I understand the utility of being able to sit in the shower, but is that the best?
I
way to
actually
take a
think these
shower?
are both hot takes.
Yeah, they're
So,
both not. Neither
Yeah,
take is
like
bad.
I think you could justifiably say that both of these could be true
Mhm.
because they are a little bit, it's up to personal feel for both of them. So I like that these are both hot takes. So I think for me, I'm trying to go with the one that gives me, it's that je ne sais quoi, that just gut feeling. And for me, it was the shower one because I feel like more people would be like, ew, you sit on the floor of your shower. So that could be
Mhm.
like a hotter take to me than the dentist.
You know,
But I don't know. I could be swayed.
could I hear the wording on the dentist one more time?
Yes, you can. Going to the dentist is amazing. The feeling of getting teeth cleaned might not be amazing at the time, but the feeling after is unbeatable.
Yeah. I'm leaning more towards the dentist. Like, sure, like getting a root canal is not the best, but if you're just going in for a routine cleaning,
Mhm.
you come out, you got a clean bill of health.
Mhm.
Like, your teeth are
and you use the
clean.
dentist as a full doctor. So when you say clean bill of health, he's like everything is fine.
Mm.
I mean,
Sure.
dentists can find indications of other health issues.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The dentist basically said, no cavities, you're good. We'll see you in 6 months. I don't know.
Mhm.
I mean, that is a pretty good feeling.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
true. I guess the best day of the year is the day after, like when you leave the dentist.
Mhm.
You know, it's
They
like, all
give
right, no
you
dentist for
stuff
6 months.
sometimes. You get like a little.
Well, that's
bag.
for children, I think.
I've
Like, they
gotten.
give you
I
the-
I get
like,
like
you
a
get
toothbrush.
lollipops?
I get like
not-
a, no. That's like
no dentist gives out lollipops.
This is Akiva exposing that he has never taken his children to the dentist
Yeah,
before.
My,
don't think
well, one of
he's
my
ever
kids
been
just
to the
walked into the room and
dentist.
said, "Do you think they give out? What do they give out? Doesn't he give stuff to the kid? Oh, he gives toothbrushes. Okay, that's
The
what. And
opposite
stickers.
of a lollipop.
Mm.
Toothbrushes and stickers.
So
Yeah.
true story. I was sitting in the waiting room of my dentist when Mike Bloom called me telling me that Angela was going into labor and we couldn't record the B&B on the weekend because
Oh.
he was going to be busy. So I have a very fond memory of my dentist waiting room because I always think of Mike.
And it was one of the best days.
It was one of the best days.
Yeah.
Felt so good.
Okay.
A dental appointment on
The
May
problem is
4th.
like dentists can be like it can be terrible. Like root canals are terrible. I had like my wisdom teeth yanked, and it was like
Yeah.
a horrible experience. Like it's
But
not
that's
always
almost-
fun.
That's oral surgery.
Yeah, but it was at the dentist.
Mhm.
Mine was a
Anyway.
separate oral surgeon, not a dentist, when I got
Mm.
my wisdom teeth out.
Because he wants you to like appreciate him for who he is. He wants your bad experience to happen somewhere else.
Mhm.
Yeah, exactly. Mhm. Okay,
Okay.
I'm going to stick with the shower.
I'm going dentist, Akiva.
I'm just gonna vote based on who I want to hear more from.
Okay.
I think they're both semifinal worthy, but I'm gonna go with dentist because I think it's a more unique take.
Okay. Can you tell that the shower sitter, what was their original take?
Yeah.
Their original take
eliminated?
was listening to music at home is better than going to a concert.
Oh,
Oh, it was the
okay.
first taker.
Hmm.
Okay.
Okay.
Our first taker.
Proceed.
Did they have a notable take from the rest of their ballot?
Mhm.
Um
And you could say their name at this point when they
Yeah.
get
they-
eliminated if you
okay,
want.
so this taker was Michael O'Rear,
Okay.
and their funniest
Michael Butler
take
over Jr.
to me was all
Rob
cars-
knows. If people don't know, Rob knows every listener's full legal name.
I mean,
Okay.
if they're prolific posters.
I'm
Sure.
teasing.
I mean,
I'm teasing.
but we know who Michael Butler O'Rear
Yeah,
Jr. is.
Mhm.
Yes.
Their funniest take to me was that all cars should be destroyed and replaced with Flintstones vehicles.
That's
Oh.
pretty funny. I mean,
thought
that's
that was
literally
very
a joke,
funny.
but it is
Mhm.
funny.
Well, you
Right.
better,
But
Size.
also,
you
there's
better
an
hope
argument
socks
to
aren't
be
shoes
made
at that point.
listen, there's an argument to be made that taking cars off of the road is a good thing for the environment and the world. So,
Mhm.
I mean, it's
There
a
would
little
be
bit of a
advantages
joke.
and disadvantages.
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
What's next?
Well, next we have
Keep it. This is the semifinals,
These are the quarters.
quarterfinals.
these are the quarters. Yeah. And this one will go like faster than other ones.
Then a Flintstone car.
Then a Flintstone, definitely faster than a Flintstone car.
Yeah,
The next take, the sense of smell is the most useless sense. More often
Ooh.
than not, the things you smell are not good and you wish that you hadn't smelled them.
So,
But you have to
hmm.
assume that you can separate smell from taste.
Okay. Smell is the worst sense,
Mm.
basically.
I don't think
All
your
right.
hot take can have a caveat of like
yeah.
Mhm.
conditional. but
And
you
like we
separate
said,
it
the
from
three
taste.
word take is better than the 3-sentence take, I think,
Mhm.
right?
Mhm.
All right, so let's can we rank the 5 senses right now? Or
Sure.
at least like tier list them. Tier list
Okay.
Saturday.
Okay.
Well, this person says that scent goes in the bin. Do we agree with that?
Well,
Yeah.
I think it is the least useful of the 5, right?
Mhm.
I don't know. My mom and I both have very sensitive senses of smell, and so we're
Yes.
very like we like smelling things, which sounds weird, but like it's a big influence, like smell, like what other people smell like, and like what food smells like, which I know I'm supposed to divorce from taste, but
Mhm.
I don't know. It's like it's a top one for me, but I think it's tough to outshine like sight and hearing.
You could
Right,
argue,
hearing, touch.
yeah, taste
Mhm.
is maybe the most useless.
I think
where,
taste, yeah.
yeah, then you could just eat like whatever is the healthiest and don't even worry about what things taste
True.
like.
Oh my
Mhm.
God,
Yeah.
I wish I didn't have like a sense of taste.
I also think having a good one, like there's almost no scenario where having like good eyesight, like excellent eyesight is bad, but I think having too strong of a sense you can't have like too strong eyesight is basically what I'm saying. I don't think there's
Mm.
anybody's like my eyesight's too good. Whereas anybody like I think there is an undulating curve where I think it's like if you at a certain point your sense of smell does not need to be good. Like I like my wife has a very strong sense of smell, and I feel like it just means I need to shower more. You know, it's
Mm.
like it's not.
Mhm.
Like,
What?
not helpful to you.
I'm sorry.
Because-
So how often
Yeah.
would you shower if it wasn't like
Have you thought about adding a chair in there, Akiva, for easy
Akiva, if you
access to the hose?
I think Akiva likes to podcast laying down. I think he would love sitting down in the shower.
I probably
Yeah.
would. I just never get up, and I'm a busy man, you know.
Too
Yeah,
busy
that
to
is true.
shower.
Yeah.
No, I shower, but I mean, I just think that there's like to be able to like if you're like smelling things from the other room, like sometimes it's good, like if it's a gas leak. But other than that, I think it's not like super useful.
One
You
time
know?
I smelled a house on fire. I was watching
Mhm.
The Bachelor and I could smell like a faint smell of smoke.
Mhm.
It wasn't coming from our house. Went outside and called the fire department because there was a house
Wow.
next door that was on fire. Mhm.
Did you save the
Whoa.
life?
I don't think there doesn't seem to be anybody in there. So no,
But you
maybe
could
some
have.
property.
Yeah, save some
You could have
property.
saved a life.
Okay.
Mhm.
Mhm.
All right. So this one is that basically scent is the worst of the senses.
Mhm.
Exactly.
Okay. All right. Not super hot, I don't think.
Yeah,
Not
what's
like
the
that
next one?
fire at Liana's neighbor's
Yeah.
house.
Yeah.
And it is against tomatoes or vegetables, and people who call them fruits think they're better than you.
So, I mean,
Hmm.
this is already a food take.
Yeah.
They are culinarily considered
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
vegetables.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean,
okay.
I just don't
Right?
think it's something that like people
Yeah.
really like. I
Care
I
about?
personally don't care. Yeah, and maybe it's
Yeah.
because I'm like, I
But
don't
that's
like
what the take
tomatoes.
is saying, because it's like
Yeah.
if anybody's like, well, actually, tomato is a fruit.
Different.
Like,
But you can say
know,
whatever
that-
you want about tomatoes. Like, God bless you.
But that person is like just trying to be a troll at that point. We all know they're really vegetables. Come on. Nobody thinks a tomato is a fruit.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where do
Technically,
you
there's
get
a bunch of
tomatoes?
them.
At the lettuce store, right?
Think
Not
about
the
how much
fruit
they
store.
weigh.
Yeah, they're probably heavy. These tomatoes.
Wow.
That's why you chop them into make a sauce or something first.
Yeah, that is,
The-
you chop them into sauce.
Cucumbers also are technically fruits also.
Oh, come on.
So I feel like, who's going to be the person that's going to be, technically, don't you know, cucumbers are actually fruits? Like that's the hipster version of tomatoes or
Yeah,
fruits.
it's the hipster thing. I don't like it.
So wait, so you want to go with scent then?
I'm going
all
with
in-
scent.
I'm all in
Yeah.
on the tomato.
Oh no,
Oh.
I don't even want to hear. I think this person is more food takes. I'm going with scent.
Okay.
I'll go with scent as well. I actually like the idea of tier listing the senses.
Okay. So we're going with
2 to
sense of
1.
smell. So that means the person who got eliminated,
Hmm.
their original take was that socks or shoes.
Mhm.
Okay.
And then their other two takes were that pigeons are the perfect shape to be kicked.
Oh,
you-
don't tell Omer.
Not that you should kick pigeons, but that they're a good shape that should be kicked.
Okay.
So
I'm
should
good.
footballs be reimagined?
I don't
Yeah,
even, you know, I
exactly.
don't even think you should out this person's name. at
And
this
then
point.
their
Yeah.
other take was
I think
that
it's fine.
cereal is significantly better dry.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I
Who
like
are
that
they?
one, the cereal take,
hmm
Oh, maybe I should have used that one next.
like the podcast, right?
hmm
Mm.
It was very dry,
Very
especially
dry. It's
season
better dry.
2. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I like what they've done now, which is take 8 years off. I think that's really a way to keep people.
I
in.
think cereal actually released something semi recently.
But it's like under a different name or whatever. They were
I
like,
don't
we don't
even
want to be
know.
popular.
Mhm.
It's
Yeah.
listen,
They hate success.
They did release a new podcast. It's called Max Magnets. Everyone should listen to it.
Yeah, check it out.
Akiva,
Hmm?
I just don't understand what happened in your life that you have this level of audacity, because there's nothing about your personality that implies that you should have it. But
I'm
here
giving you
are.
guys a plug. I'm giving
He
you guys a free
showered this
plug.
week.
Mhm.
Don't be nice to him.
He's turning
like,
the promotion
"Damn."
hose on.
My wife's sense of smell is too good. I have to shower regularly.
Well, I know I already do, you know, but it just makes me think that like, what's this good for? You should have no sense of smell, basically.
Mhm.
Oh my god. Okay. Let's move to the next takeoff. Next take. Sorry. Okay.
Okay. Next quarterfinal matchup.
This person says it's fine for large tech it would be fine for large tech companies to steal your data if you received a cut of the money they make from selling it.
Yeah, this is actually an
I like that.
interesting take. That I was watching a TikTok yesterday, and somebody was saying like, "Hey, you go on these websites and you put in all of your information, and then they sell it. Like, you should get a cut of that money."
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I'm pro
It's your
that.
information.
Yeah, I'm not against that, but like, is it negotiation or is it just like a set amount, basically?
Yeah. And and this person was saying that perhaps in the future, companies will pay you for your information rather than you
Okay.
post it for free.
Well, people can pay you to take surveys and stuff, right?
Mhm.
So it's sort of like that. You're
Mhm.
providing information.
Yeah. Okay. And what is this up against?
And this is up against deep dish pizza should be renamed to open face calzone.
Open face calzone.
I like the name.
Because it's more calzone than pizza.
Yeah. Akiva, do you have any thoughts on open face calzone?
Well, the name makes me laugh. I also think like with the amount that Kirsten said, like she didn't want food takes and there were a bunch. It makes me think that like a lot of people submitted food takes and she had to knock out a lot.
There were a lot of food takes. One of my favorite takes in the whole hot take off was actually original hot take off winner Megan Z said, if you have a food take, it should be completely eliminated from the hot take off. And I was like, I'm with you, Megan. But there was a few people that had 3 really strong takes and then a food take.
Liana, are you a calzone person?
You know, for me, it's the ratio, the bread to filling ratio that I think is often a calzone of why I would prefer a pizza. So for me, no, I can understand that people enjoy them, but it's not for me.
When people say L plus ratio, they're talking about like too much.
That's actually what they mean.
Yeah,
that is correct.
Calzone ratio.
Calzone plus ratio. Yeah.
Yeah.
Calzone.
Akiva, do you find that a calzone is the same like consistency of a deep dish pizza?
No, I don't think it's the same consistency. I feel like I don't have enough calzones in my life, but I don't think the answer is just to rename different things calzones. I like the idea of open face. There should be more open face stuff, though. Michael Green says it's a casserole, not a pizza.
Yeah.
Well, did you know that a pizza is just an open-faced grilled cheese sandwich?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah. That.
Krista, could you give us the wording on the first hot take?
Yes, the first hot take was, it would be fine for large tech companies to sell your data if you received a cut of the money they make from it.
Every time they sell it, that would be something.
Yeah.
Yeah. People would be like, here, take all my information.
Yeah.
Is that a hot take though? Because people would be pro pay me money.
Yeah, that's true. Is it? It's an interesting idea. I'm more on the tech companies than the open face calzone.
Yeah, I'm on the tech companies too.
Liana,
Tech companies it is.
sweep it.
Okay.
Not great, but I don't know if
Tech
the open face calzone was super exciting.
companies. So the one that
Probably
was
delicious, though.
eliminated here, their original take was that mattress sizes should be renamed.
Oh, I like that one.
And their other takes are that Mickey Mouse is one of the biggest narcissists in the world.
Oh, why?
There are so many things named after him or shaped like him for no reason other than his huge ego.
But did he name them all?
Yeah.
Or were they named in his honor? Is he like sort of like George
Something to
Washington of
discuss.
cartoons? Yeah.
What about Ronald McDonald? There's like all those Ronald statues, and like he wants to pose with children.
Those Ronald statues are creepy.
Very creepy. Yeah.
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 And then the last take of theirs that I was going to use is that Sesame Street is just Saturday Night Live for toddlers.
Yeah. I
That's
don't know if
kinda
that's is that a hot take? I kind of feel like that's
Kinda
sort
just
of
funny.
like, yeah.
It might just be true, but it's a
Yeah.
funny take. It made me laugh. It gave me a reaction.
Okay.
Okay. Well, goodbye to that taker. You're out of the bracket.
Do you want to say who it was?
Oh, they were Nick. We don't know his last
Nick.
name.
Okay.
Good job, Nick.
All right.
Good job,
well
Nick.
done. All right.
You made it into the bracket. Many people
in advance.
wish they could.
In advance. Okay. And then there's one more quarterfinal matchup.
And yes,
right?
one more quarterfinal matchup, and that would be people should not be allowed to wear flip-flops unless they're at the beach. The click-clacking sound they make around stores all summer is annoying. Versus, if I could scroll to the right one, The Goosebumps books are scarier than any Stephen King novel.
Goosebumps books are scary. But I
Okay.
mean, the last time I read one, I would think I was like 7.
Yeah.
So,
Liana,
probably
could
the frame
you
of
give
reference.
us the gist of one of them? Because I feel like that I'm.
Oh my god!
I think I missed those. My kids
So
aren't old enough to read them.
I think one of the most famous Goosebumps ones is about the evil dummy that
Oh,
is like
ventriloquist
very
dummy.
scary.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a ventriloquist dummy. I think that's one of the most famous ones.
Now,
Hmm.
Akiva, have you ever read a Stephen King book? You are
I've
very
read
well
both.
read.
I've read
Yes.
both. Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh, which was scarier to you?
I think when I was a kid, Goosebumps was much scarier than Stephen King as an adult. No question. No
Hmm.
question.
Wait, Goosebumps as a child was scarier than Stephen King as an adult.
Yeah,
is
and-
that
but I
the
read-
comparison that we should make,
well,
or should
how
it
about
be
this?
as an adult? Which one's scarier? Probably.
But I
still
read
Goosebumps.
I read the 4-1, like Stand By Me, like the 4-in-1 book, the 1,000-page Stephen King book when I was pretty young, probably like 11.
Mm.
And I wasn't scared by
Whoa.
it. And this was Goosebumps I was petrified by. So
Wait,
yeah, I
but
think
you were afraid of E.T.,
E.T. was so scary.
but you read Stand By Me at 11 and we're fine.
Books aren't scary. E.T. knew where I lived. He was
Yeah.
very scary.
Is Stand By Me
Hmm.
that scary? I feel like they just go look for a dead
That's-
body.
And by the
I
way,
don't know what
history
that
proved
one
me right
is.
about Edward Scissorhands. He was a freak, that guy.
Mhm.
Just wait, a lot of people are going to come for you for that, Akiva.
I think, yeah.
But I'm on
what
your
was the other-
side.
what was the other take here? What's this going up against?
So
No flip flops.
this was no flip-flops. Only on the beach.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people worried about what shoes are, what you do with shoes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, I mean, and no one has made one comment about Velcro shoes, Akiva.
I
And how does
see-
that make you feel?
I live in a culture where I see a lot of feet, and
Yeah.
I'm not super happy about it.
Yes.
A lot of
Like
people,
online?
everyone, not online, no. That is not my
Yes.
culture.
He is on
It is kind of my
WikiFeet a lot.
No, I'm not a fit. I'm not, nothing wrong with them, but I'm not a foot person. But so you see, everyone here wears sandals in the winter, and my wife does too. Like everyone is just like
Sandals
big-
in the winter.
everyone's just like you see shoes, you see feet here 365 days a year, and there's a lot of feet that were never meant to be seen. So I just don't look down the whole time.
Okay.
Okay.
The
Yeah,
hottest
so I'm
take of
gonna go
all.
with I'm gonna go with the shoes person.
Yeah. Okay. I am gonna go with the Goosebumps. I mean, I thought Akiva made a compelling case about Goosebumps is scarier than Stephen King. I feel like that the flip flops is a boring take.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the one that got the first reaction out of me. Flip flops, no. Goosebumps all the way.
Okay.
Okay.
Goosebumps. Advances to the semifinals.
So the
Who is our flip flopper?
The flip flopper was Delaney. They say people should be charged a price for flights based on how many times they've flown.
My dad, yes.
Your dad, Delaney. They
Yep.
also said that strawberry blonde is not a real hair color. It's
Oh.
just what people say when they don't want to admit they have red hair.
Hmm.
And then also they said that gum is a useless food, which is why I included it versus like several people included that like chewing gum is gross that I did not include. I feel like they
Interesting.
gave
Gum a
another level
food?
to it.
Is gum a food?
Well,
Is
that's
gum
the
a
thing
food?
because like you're not supposed to swallow the gum, but their take was gum is one of the most useless candy / foods. I don't want to chew my own saliva. Good breath for 20 minutes isn't worth it.
Mm.
It
Whereas,
is
like-
in the candy aisle.
It's
Yeah.
a good
Grocery
sense of
store.
smell. Yeah.
Everyone
breath
else
for
was
20
kind of
minutes.
just like gum is disgusting. Yuck, you chew it for so long. And I was like, okay, well, that's not that.
Rob, do you remember Banaka?
Yes.
Oh,
So like
mhm.
every 90s sitcom had like the same thing where Banaka, if people don't know, if it's not popular anymore, is like just a spray that would make your mouth smell better, right? And
Mhm.
basically like Urkel or John Stamos' son, Full House, like right before they would kiss someone, they would spray Banaka and like to big effect, right? They'd like pause the TV basically. Two
Mhm.
sprays of Banaka, go in for the smooch.
Do they still make it?
I don't even know if they make it, but it was such a big part of like sitcom culture. I don't know if I ever saw it in real life even.
So
Uh,
we
Sitcom
used it for our
culture-
dog.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, we used it for our dogs when we
Before
were
you kiss your
training them
dog,
to
you-
no,
okay.
no, yeah, on the dog, not on
Yeah,
us. We
before
don't
you
care
make
about
out
that.
with your dog.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No,
Mhm.
we used it to train them when they would do something like they would bite something they weren't supposed to because they were labs. So they would try to bite a lot of stuff. We would just spray them with Banaka. So I think they still make it.
You still can still get
God.
it. Yeah.
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 I
Also,
feel like
Listerine Cool Mint. They have a little like
Yes.
pump spray.
Yeah, I feel like in sitcoms it would often be a thing also where they would like go to like spray the thing, but then they would accidentally
Misfire.
spray something else or misfire
Yeah.
for the joke.
Mhm.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so are we ready for these semifinals?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
The final
This-
4 hot takers of the summer.
Final 4 hot takers. Christmas songs are appropriate to listen to from late October to January and not just December. If Halloween had something other than the Monster Mash or the Ghostbusters theme song, maybe things would be different. But for now, the Christmas spirit gets a 2.5-month window.
You like that, Akiva?
I just think it's pretty like well-trodden territory.
I might
Hold
have
on.
read the wrong take.
Okay.
I might
Wait,
have read
hold
the
on.
wrong take.
Hold on. Hold
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
everything.
I read
Hold
the wrong
everything.
take. I read the wrong take. Sorry, everybody.
Okay, that was
Okay.
a person who is not in the final 4
That was a
take.
person who actually got replaced by a sub.
Yeah.
So,
Okay,
sorry,
got
Gotta
it.
be
Okay.
honest.
everybody.
Pretty you
Yeah, I
know,
would have been disappointed if that
Not
was
Not
a
a great take.
semifinal
Not a
take.
great take. I apologize. I
not a final
deeply
4-worthy
apologize
take.
for my unprofessionalism.
That's okay.
Mm.
We all make mistakes.
Okay. Whew, the real take is Sharpies are superior to both pens and pencils. They have colors,
Sharpies.
widths, textures, and nothing says important like a permanent marker.
Okay.
You ever one of those
Sharpies.
like explode in your pocket though? That's not fun.
Never had a
Well,
Sharpie
do you have a
explode
pocket
on me.
protector? I feel
No,
like
that's
Akiva
for
has-
Urkel.
No, Akiva has big pocket protector energy.
No, God,
Believe
No, we'd have to
yeah,
wear a
this is
shirt
bull-
with a pocket on it. And that's
Akiva,
not-
Akiva
Oh,
doesn't
yeah,
wear,
yeah.
wear a collared shirt.
Do you
Come on.
think that
Yeah.
Akiva just like carries a pencil case then? I could see it.
I
Always a little
haven't
bag.
used. Why do you think I'm like this cartoon nerd? First of all,
Akiva hates nerds.
I'm not a self-hating nerd though. We've established this. Now,
Mhm.
I'm what kind of face are you making, Mara?
Okay.
Mara walked in when I
Wait,
said that.
can Mara come, chime in on the idea of you as a nerd?
Mara, can you come and chime in? And they want you to chime in on something. But wait, so here's what I want to say. First of all, I can't remember the last time I've used a pen, a pencil, a marker, a Sharpie, anything. Like I feel like
You don't use any writing implement.
ever. They even like on our new desks, they gave us like a whole like, hey, if you want writing, whatever. Like I'm never gonna use it once.
You've
just taking
never
up space.
used the pen in recent memory.
In like 4 or 5 years, I can't remember the last
Wow.
time.
No.
I mean, I'm sure I wrote
Wow.
a note.
No,
I'm sure I
Akiva,
wrote a
do
note
you-
once or twice, but like I haven't signed a check. I haven't.
Well, that
like,
I
used
believe.
everything.
So my question, Akiva,
signatures.
is: do you just
Yeah.
not know how to use whiteout? Is that the problem?
Whiteout.
I don't think he doesn't know how to write.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah,
that
the
could be
problems
it.
may run far deeper.
So,
than
but
white.
Yeah.
but like, are you just like being a little bit flip, or like you really haven't picked up a pen
No,
in 4 or 5
I mean,
years?
I'm thinking like a couple times I've like helped like maybe my son say, hey, can you help me write like my name or somebody's name? Like, but I don't want to say 0 times, but
Okay, how about
the average
this?
month I do
How about
not touch
this?
a pen or a pencil.
You
Yes.
you go to a restaurant,
Okay.
the bill comes.
Mm-hmm.
Are you not paying with a card?
I'm paying with a card.
Okay, but don't you have to sign the check?
Rob, most countries you
Yeah,
don't have
I
to sign
guess.
the check
But
anymore.
Okay.
I don't. I
Use
feel
a
like you don't have to.
pen.
Yeah, I feel like you're not usually. I'm not
Mm.
usually doing it. I also barely like that's their pen. That's not my
That's
pen.
their
You know what I
pen.
mean?
Oh, so that
I'm
doesn't
not-
count.
They're
So-
not like,
Oh, it
hey, we don't
doesn't
have any
count.
pens.
Okay.
Do you have a pen?
I mean,
Mm.
I would. America is very behind the times on having to sign checks. In Canada, you never have to sign a check anymore because you have a pin.
Mm.
Mm.
You get a pin, not a pen.
Exactly.
Wait, what was the take? Sharpies are better
The
than
take
pens.
was that Sharpies are better than pens and pencils.
And Akiva has no writing implements.
So,
Alright.
yeah.
Yes, and but now like I'm just of all the times that Akiva says, okay, next week, yeah, well, I'll make sure we do that. This does check out. That maybe not jotting notes to himself.
Well, I write them on the computer.
Okay.
I write.
Okay,
I
and so
write
that-
notes I write notes on my computer. What do you mean?
So the take against the pen pencil.
Wait,
Sharpie
hold on. Can we get
situation-
just? We haven't said anything about Sharpies.
right.
Love Sharpies. Liana, you have any strong feelings about Sharpies?
Yeah, I'm super pro Sharpie. I use Sharpies at work a lot because I have to write on like tubes and stuff, like science
Yes.
stuff. And so I use that. And then I also use them for notes. I have ballpoint pens that I use, but other than that, I use Sharpies for everything else.
Yeah.
So I'm also very pro Sharpie.
I love writing implements. I have love having pens all around. Love having Sharpies. I have many different sizes of Sharpies. Without Sharpies, there could be no Survivor.
Ooh.
I have black Sharpies. I have red Sharpies around here. I have silver Sharpies around here. So I'm a big Sharpie guy. The thing about the Sharpies, though, and you can have like the very fine point. I do feel like that the points go pretty quick. I think it's very hard to like actually write a lot without a pen. Like if I had to have only one, a Sharpie or a pen, I'm not sure I would go with Sharpie.
But what's as important more than a permanent marker?
Yes, that is very important. Okay.
Okay,
I
and
do
so
all my crosswords in Sharpie. So
damn, girl, that's what you get when you get Liana from science, baby.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, and so that take is up against. There is no distinction between good and bad actors. As long as they don't break while on screen, who is to say that whatever they did isn't exactly how their character would act?
I thought when you said there's no distinction between good and bad actors, I thought that we were talking about like actual like citizens.
Oh my God.
Their behavior.
I mean, listen,
Like, I don't know.
I kept the hot take off from becoming political. I
Yes.
did not include a lot of political takes.
So any performance
Yes.
is valid. Who's
As
to
long as they
say-
don't break, because how do you know what that character would do?
Yeah. So like Jimmy Fallon on SNL is a bad actor because he's laughing.
Yes. But in my sister's opinion, he's the best one on SNL because she loves when they break.
Okay.
So Hayden Christensen in Attack of the Clones was like, let me tell you what young Darth Vader would be like. A terrible actor.
Mhm.
Yeah. But actually a good actor.
Yeah,
What does
you
that say
have no
about Rob
idea.
Schneider?
Oh, did he
Ooh.
break? I think he broke in a couple of sketches. That would be bad acting. Kevin James. He was never
Kevin James.
on SNL. He never broke,
Kevin
right?
can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm a big Kevin stan. So
any acting could I just hear this one more time? Any acting performance is good, or
So there is no distinction between good and bad acting because as long as they don't break, who is to say that whatever they did isn't exactly how that character would act?
This is a hot take, but Akiva, is this a valid take?
So like Daniel Day-Lewis is just as good at acting as like
Nicolas Cage.
Yeah.
as Nicholas. Well,
Yeah.
no,
I
that
think
we're
a
just
lot of
saying
people would
facts.
agree
Yeah.
with that take. Leanna.
Basically,
I mean, I think that what it's saying is that we as an audience really read into a performance,
Right.
and maybe we shouldn't be doing that.
Meryl Streep and Malcolm on the Bold and the Beautiful. Who's to say
Same.
what's better? Right.
It's a difference of opinion.
Subjective.
Yeah.
And so acting is going up against what?
Sharpies. Sharpie is the best
Acting
implement.
against Sharpies.
Yeah. I personally don't agree with the Sharpie is the best implement, but I think I'm closer to it than there's no difference between a bad actor and a good actor. Because you don't know what the director was going for.
I'm gonna leave it in Liana's hands because I just want to hear more of the acting person. I think they're gonna have a better final round here. To me, they're close, and I don't have a lot.
Do you
big
want to
Sharpie
know
opinions.
what the other takes from both of these people were?
No,
I don't think we're allowed to.
Yeah, not
Yeah,
that.
we didn't do it for anybody else. I don't know. I think I'm gonna go. I think I'm gonna go Sharpie though. For me, the actor one is more like I'm trying to force a hot take than it actually being a hot take.
Fair.
If that makes sense.
Okay, so it goes to the Sharpie. So the good actor, bad actor taker, that was David Schwartz. Their
Okay.
original take was that windows are dumb. Their second round take was that the sense of smell is useless.
Boy, Akiva, this
Oh, so they
person
were
was in
good.
lockstep with you.
Yeah.
And then they had a couple of other takes that could have been included for the last round. The one I was going to use was that high school level sports are the best games
Oh,
because
Akiva.
the players know what they're doing, but they also screw it up a lot, making it comical and exciting to watch.
Yeah, that's not a great take.
I don't know.
Rob and I are always like, we should watch more high school sports.
I mean, I think it could be a hot. It's a hot take that could
It's
be
a hot take.
defended.
It is hot
which
take.
is,
It was a good
which is
run.
why I
Little
liked
kid
it.
It's a good
sports are the
run.
best.
Good run
And
for
then
them.
they had a couple of other takes. The other one that was up for consideration for actually being in the bracket was that all prepared food should be delivery. There would be no need for most kitchen appliances, only the microwave. So you should only have food that you can microwave or get delivered to you. Is there?
We're gonna test that out.
Hot take.
We're gonna test that in this house this month because my family's leaving in 2 days, and
Okay.
I'm not. I don't think the oven's gonna stay plugged in while they're gone. So.
Okay.
Gone fishing.
I
All
mean,
right.
I don't, Akiva, if you knew where your oven was plugged in, I'd be surprised.
Do you know what the oven looks like?
I know
Do
what
you
it
know
looks
what
like.
the plug looks like for the oven?
knows
No,
where to
I don't
find
know
it.
where it's plugged in, but I'm sure I could find it.
Mm-hmm. Okay. All
Okay.
right.
So
We're
our
down to the
last-
final 4 hot takes of the hot 2022.
No, that
hot
was-
takeoff.
No, we're
No, that
now
was
down
the
to-
first semi. This is
Yeah,
the
that was
second.
the first
Oh.
semi. We're
Oh, I'm
past.
sorry. I'm sorry.
That
down to the
person's in the
final
final.
3. Down to the
Yes,
final
yeah.
No,
3.
we're
The
in the
phone,
final
correct.
3 right now. Okay, so for the next one, and I very stupidly did not block out all of the rows, so I confused my silly brain.
It's okay. You got this, Kirsten.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm working on it.
You've been here before.
Yes. So okay, I'm just
Okay.
making sure that I'm in the right position here. I don't
right.
want
And just
to have.
we still have a mailbag to go today, but it's going to be a tight
Very
mailbag.
tight. Very tight.
We're
Tight
almost
mailbag.
done. We're almost done.
Eva's got to go to work.
Okay.
7 hours.
So the last matchup, the first take is
You don't want to keep a groggy at work and falling out a window, okay?
Oh, he'll tie himself in now.
Yeah.
this one is Tyra Banks would be a fantastic replacement host for Survivor if Probst ever left. The
Tyra
only
Banks.
Survivor take I allowed into the entire
Okay.
bracket.
That's
just for the
that. I think
record.
that's general enough that's
We're
fine.
rooting for you. We were all
Mhm.
rooting
we were
for
all
you.
rooting for you.
Okay.
Okay, and that is versus.
Oh, well, let's just talk that through. Leon, I feel like that you might have the most experience with watching Tyra host. Would
Yeah.
Tyra be a good host of Survivor?
The first thing I think of is the vote reveal, because the way that Tyra reveals the pictures, I feel like is very dramatic. So I think she could actually step it up a notch when it comes to taking over for Jeff. I'm curious to know how the tribal councils would go, because she would come and interact with all of the girls. So I think she could actually do a pretty good job if you're thinking about a person that would be a good replacement host.
Would she do during the challenges?
Ooh, that's a good one. So I don't know her narration abilities.
Mhm.
That would be to be determined. But I think she could be pretty successful at it.
Mm. It would be an interesting turn for the show. I feel like she's not as warm and engaging. I feel like that she's a little more icy with the contestants.
Also, isn't she somewhat controversial now?
Well, I mean, if you go back and look at some of the challenges in America's Next Top Model, on top of many other things, there are some issues there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Okay. But it would be interesting. I mean, it would definitely be I do think that if Jeff Probst ever walked away from Survivor, I do think that probably would be the direction the network would want to go of an established host.
Mhm.
So interesting.
Well, and I
Interesting.
think if you think about the other reality TV hosts, who else would be on the table? Julie
Mhm.
Chen? No, come
I
on.
don't think so.
No.
Yeah.
They're not going to
Julie
get the
Chen
Chen. They
does.
can't get the Chen ball wet out there in Fiji.
Mhm.
So that's obviously, not an
Mhm.
option. Phil,
Yeah.
could be an option there. Who else would even be in consideration?
I mean,
DJ
it should-
Lavin, no.
It should be Arissa Cox, but they're
She
not
would be
brave
good.
enough to face that.
Mhm.
I mean, we've got Canadian winners now, so
Yeah. Okay.
All right,
All
so
right,
this is
what
going
that
up against what?
Yes, so this take is going up against and okay, just for the record, this take that it's against, it was a sub-in take.
Okay.
And so I think I've used their best takes already.
Oh,
Okay, fair enough.
don't put your thumb on the lettuce scale.
The take that their next hot take is that the legal age to purchase tobacco and nicotine should be lowered back to 18.
What is it now?
is it not 18?
I don't know.
Wait,
What-
really?
Is this?
I-
I mean, I'm pretty sure it's 18 in the United
There,
States.
it says in the US specifically, and I was like, well, who am I to question what the legal age for anything in the US is?
Yeah.
Hmm.
How old
Mhm.
In Connecticut, it's
you
18.
have to be?
Wow. Okay.
Goodbye.
Well, should we? Do you
Well,
want me to sub it in with someone?
Let's see.
else?
Hold on. On December, let's see. On December 20, 2019, there's legislation that raising the federal minimum age of tobacco products from 18 to 21. So maybe it went
it
went to
is.
21.
Okay, so
I mean, I'm not a
smokers.
teenager trying to smoke, so I was not on top of this.
Mhm. Fair enough.
How dare you?
Just too busy
It
having
is the greatest
braces.
issue oppressing our nation.
Yeah,
right
does
now.
this
Yeah.
say does this say why?
No, it just says that it should be lowered down to 18. I think
Hmm.
that most of the time when people argue about ages needing to be 18, they argue, I can be drafted and fight for my country. So why can't I do substances?
Hmm.
But
Well,
that's
so
not
we're
written in the
90.
take.
So this person feels very strongly that tobacco products should be available to
And
younger
nicotine.
people and nicotine. But why?
I don't think it's a hot take. Also, I don't think this take is especially hot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Tyra as the survivor host.
I think I'm going.
I was very open to hearing another take, but I feel like that if there was a why, I would also be interested to know why.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, we were not given a why.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I feel
I guess we'll go with Tyra.
So we're going to the final round. We have our final two takers.
All right.
Okay. And I feel like this is the thing where like sometimes the takes at the end aren't as good, but we're gonna have to go through all of the takes for each person, right?
Okay. Yes. Well, why don't
Yeah,
we
and
hear
who got
let's-
eliminated?
Oh, right. Who just got the person that just got eliminated was our first substitute. It was Dave. He did not provide any further names, so I don't want to dox him.
Yes, Dave Marlborough.
And Dave's other take that did not get read is that modern movies are too long, which is not really a hot
yeah.
take.
Cold
But
take.
I
Agreed.
basically Dave was included as an alternate because the take about tech companies being allowed to sell data if you receive a cut
Okay.
and anyone living to 90 being allowed to do drugs.
Very
I felt were-
libertarian.
He started good.
views from
I,
Dave.
I
yeah.
felt
But he
that
started
those
good.
two takes were strong enough to elevate the other two takes were a little bit
Okay,
weaker.
so
into
here
the
we are.
Subcategory.
It's the finals of the
Yes.
2022 hot takeoff. Somebody's about to be the hottest
Somebody's about to be
taker
the hot taker of them all.
of the summer
That's right.
of the year.
Okay. And so here's the final two takes.
It comes down to the open face calzone.
So the final two takes are that you should only be allowed to use a wedding photo as your profile picture for up to 1 year past your wedding.
Okay. Boy.
Hmm.
This it might be from
Listen.
the mind of the person that said one baby picture a quarter.
No babies.
Yes.
I will tell you right now, it is the same person.
Yes. Okay. All right.
And then the other take is that movies are actually better than the books. Even if you're pro book, showing a scene in 1 second can show you more than what you could see in one chapter.
Movies are
Described in
better
detail.
than the books or the
And the clarification is that we've established that audiobooks are books and a movie is just an audiobook with visuals.
Okay.
Well, a picture is worth 1,000
All right.
words.
Yeah.
Liana.
We're
Oh,
a full
okay.
chapter here. I think
Alright.
we need to hear what the other takes were.
Well,
here. I think
let's just
yeah.
talk this. Let's talk it through first.
Okay, fine.
Okay. Liana, any thoughts on these two takes?
Okay, so we've got the picture, and then what was the first one? The picture words, and then the book,
It was
whatever,
wedding,
and then
wedding pictures
wedding
for
photos, yes,
1
yes, yes.
year,
Okay.
or
So-
movies are better than books.
Okay, so this is my question about the wedding photo one. Is it do we think it's specifically weddings? Is that the only time, or is it like a specific event that happens? You can only use that profile picture for a year, or do you need to uptate your profile picture
I
every
feel like
year, or
it's
specifically weddings?
your wedding photo. Now, I don't think it's like pictures.
Interesting.
If you went to another listener's wedding, then you could use that picture.
Your own wedding is
Mhm.
the one that rules it out. I see.
Right.
Interesting.
Right.
Hmm.
Is that correct, Kirsten?
That's the impression I get from reading the take. It does only say a wedding photo,
Yeah.
but then it says up to a year after your wedding.
Yeah. I feel like if I paid a wedding photographer thousands and thousands of dollars,
Mhm.
I should be able to use that picture for as long as I
But you're
want.
confusing
I paid for
people.
it. Why?
You don't have to throw it in the garbage.
How am I confusing people?
Well, they're gonna think, oh, there's Rob. He's a newlywed. He's recently married.
Mm-hmm.
If
It
your
would be. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, if your profile picture is meant to describe you now, then
Mhm.
yes, using older photos or wedding photos, like obviously dates it.
Right. It would be wild for somebody like Akiva or myself who has been married for many, many years to use a wedding picture. But if somebody was recently married in the last couple of years, I don't think that would be. It's like you have to change your picture because you got married 400 days ago.
So yeah, what would you change the cutoff to then?
3
years?
I don't really care about policing people's profile pictures. Like I kind of feel like you should have to have a picture. That would be my one rule about this. Like your profile should have to be a picture of you.
What if you had an egg at your wedding, Rob? That's me.
Good point.
Egg.
Well, what if I guess if you married an egg, you would probably kill 2 birds with 1 stone also. I don't know. I think people are like have a lot of takes on this take in the comments, and to me that implies it's a pretty spicy take. Can we heard both takes already?
No, well, we didn't talk at all about the movies are better than the book.
Movies are better. Can I ask a crazy question?
Yeah.
Wasn't there a similar winning take 2 hot takeoffs ago, Kirsten?
2 hot takeoffs ago, the winning take was Megan Z won. And the only take of hers that I remember is the one about the Weather Network.
Weather Channel.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Let me look. Hot takeoff. So it says hot takes for RAANAP. What year was this?
Yeah. Because I think
that was RAANAP bot. Hot takeoff.
And I'd love to hear the wording again, because I think a movie can definitely be better than a book.
Yeah.
Okay, this is the
and I think that a movie can certainly, and again, I'm not an avid reader, but I feel like can certainly like be very powerful. I guess so can a great book, but
I remember seeing the first Harry Potter movie when I was a kid, and I hated it because I loved the book so much, and I felt like they left out so many things. So I was definitely pro book, anti movie in that circumstance.
I've said I have a friend whose sister is such a big Harry Potter fan. She has not only never seen the movies, but will like leave the room if a commercial would come on. She did not want the universe to be like ruined by the movies.
Akiva, can I give you the info on the first winning hot takeoff Megan Z in 2019?
Yeah.
Okay.
I found it. So
if her takes are better than these, she should win again.
Ooh, oh my God. Okay.
Repeat.
And so just for the record, also, we called the hot takeoff annual, but we actually did not have one in 2020. So
it was hard.
It was canceled.
It was canceled for COVID. It's fine. Okay. So the winning takes that Megan Z had for the original hot takeoff, and also just like looking at this spreadsheet versus the one I'm using this year, it's really the amount of time I have has really dwindled since 2019. So Megan Z's takes were putting silverware at the beginning of a buffet is the definition of insanity.
Okay.
Remember that one?
Yeah, that was good.
The most legitimate sounding website homepage that is actually just quick clickbait is the Weather Channel, which that's when I remember.
Very good. That was
classic.
Then it was, if you're a travel reporter / blogger and list people watching and your top 10 list of things to do visiting city or country XYZ, you should be fired immediately.
Yeah. And then the last one was that Akiva is wrong. Josh Allen is actually going to be awesome.
Unfortunately, the last week was actually all karaoke songs should be modified to be 2 minutes or less.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay. By the way, that's a very good take. I agree with that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wants to hear the third chorus from somebody.
I stand by all of Megan Z's takes, except I think there's been far fewer buffets since the first one takeoff.
Yes. 2019 Megan was locked in. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let's hear. All right. So the books taker also said what, and the other taker also said what? Chris?
Yes. Okay. So the movies are better than books taker had the takes. Baby food is a delicious snack, especially fruit jars.
Got it all started. Yeah.
Okay.
Going to the dentist is amazing.
Yep.
Okay.
And Sharpies are superior to pens and pencils for writing.
All right. This person's pretty locked in.
Yeah.
All right.
They're pretty locked
Rob
in.
liked this person. Yeah.
Yeah.
The wedding photo taker had social media should only allow 1 post per quarter of your children / babies. Goosebumps books are scarier than any Stephen King book, and Tyra Banks would be a fantastic replacement host for Survivor.
I think it's easy.
2 great takers, I think.
It's good takers, but I think there's an easy winner. And I don't love the championship take. I never view the final take as necessarily the winning take. But I mean, are we all on the same page here? Like, I feel like
I feel very strongly about the direction I'm going to go.
I think I'm a little bit more torn, but I think I have a winner as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Just say like the topics one more time, Kirsten, again from the two people, and then we'll vote.
For the final take.
Yeah, the two no, I'm saying the two people, like what their 4 takes are.
Okay, so the first person, their 4 takes are baby food is a delicious
You could just say
snack,
baby food. Yeah, just like the topics.
going to the dentist,
Mm-hmm.
Sharpies,
Mm-hmm.
and movies are better than books.
Yeah.
Okay.
The other one is baby pictures, Goosebumps versus Stephen King, Tyra Banks, and one wedding photo only for 1 year after your
So they had
wedding.
2 picture takes also.
Two
It's like-
picture
And
takes.
they did say similar to my first take, but I let them through because I really liked their Goosebumps take and their Tyra Banks take, and I wanted them all to get the light of day.
Okay.
Liana, how are you voting?
Look, to me, the Goosebumps take out of the 4 is my favorite take.
I'm
However,
gonna poll the audience also.
oh,
Yeah, let's
okay,
see what the
I like
audience
this.
says.
Yes. Okay. At the risk of putting my thumb on the lettuce scale, in totality, though, I would say that the first taker, with the package that they've presented, their 4 takes, I think that is where I would ultimately give my vote for the winner.
Mhm.
Yeah. I mean, I think we're all on the same page here. I think the baby food person who ends with books are better than movies. They started strong at the end, but I think that's the winning. I think that's the winning taker.
I think books being better than movies is a hot take, though, because I think you'll have people on either side. So to me, even though like,
Well, I mean,
maybe it's
movies,
not the
books.
most
They said movies.
exciting,
They said movies
or-
are better
yeah,
than books.
movies.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry. I said that.
Even though like that's not. Maybe it's not the most exciting of hot takes. I think it still is a good hot take.
Yeah, I think when you hear the 4 photo, like the wedding photo and the family photo, I think it's not as strong. And the first 15 people voted all it was 14-1. So I think we picked the right winner. Kirsten, can you tell us who lost the hot takeoff, and then can you tell us who won the hot takeoff?
Yes. So the loser to the hot takeoff is Purple Jordan.
Purple Jordan.
Purple Jordan.
Purple Jordan really wants to police your profile picture.
Yes.
I mean, but congratulations to Purple Jordan for getting so much airtime in the hot takeoff.
Yes. Well done.
I speaking of profile pictures, I don't have they at work they asked for a picture to put on your ID for the new building we moved into. And I didn't send it. They just used my Twitter profile picture. They're like, we don't have any pictures. They took my Twitter profile picture, and that is what I have to wear.
Honestly, your work knowing your Twitter is the most embarrassing part of that whole story.
Yeah, it's also my Slack, whatever.
Okay. All right.
Okay,
And
so
who is the
that
winner?
means the winner
Throw a
of
drum
the
roll.
hot takeoff.
Hold on.
Can we please have a
Drum roll for the winner of congratulations of the hot takeoff winner is
Rayanne Brock.
Rayanne.
And so this is another trend I've noticed. So 3 years of doing hot takeoffs, you notice a lot of trends, and the vast majority of takers are men. But the winner every year has been a woman.
It's true. It's true.
Yep. Okay. Story checks out.
Yeah. Amazing.
Well done.
Good job, Ryan.
Kirsten, thank you for all of your hard work organizing all of the hot takes once again.
Of course.
All right. We're going to get ready for a mailbag here. Kirsten, I know you always have a lot going on. Are you staying for the mailbag?
You said the mailbag will be short.
It'll be
Right?
It's
tight.
gonna be very short.
It's gonna be tight. Keep us gotta go to work.
I can stay for a tight mailbag.
Tight mailbag. Liana, of course, it would not be the hot take off without you. Thank you for all of your insight into the hot takes. Will you stay for the hot take? For the mailbag. For the mailbag.
I will stay for the mailbag. It's gonna be tight. I'm down.
Okay. All right. We got a tight mailbag coming up here. Of course, we'll hear what's coming up and much more as we take a quick break and come back with a tight mailbag here right after this.
It's the remix jingle, time for another. Just like the sequel to How I Met Your Mother. Robin Keevy Need a Podcast is pretty established. Could have any guest like Tiffany Radish. They could take the podcast to great heights, appearing on set Myers. The king of late night, you've given me and Phil hours of laughs. Cause we know that you watched the whole 2 hours of Cats. What? I can't believe how painful it is. I really, really wish that you were taking the piss. That means joking around. That's just British slang. Just spin the wheel as fast and furious as you can. It's sublime. I'm running out of things to say when I'm writing these lines. My name's Jack Fox, but I think that it's time to pass the mic to Phil T to spit some rhymes. Go ahead.
Okay, it's Phil and Jack Fox. Rob and Keevy got games like Jack Fox. It's Rob and the Keevy need a bing bang. Rob and the Keevy need a
Uncut Jazz.
Right.
So now it's
Okay, we're gonna yada yada yada. The
Mhm.
mailbag song.
We gotta go.
Oh, you yada yada the Phil T part. I see how it is.
Oh,
Huh.
what a hater.
Interesting.
Go listen to any other episode.
Yeah, Puya in the
bad
chat
father.
says you can catch these hands back to Timbuktu, and I agree.
Okay.
All right. Next week we'll hear. Phil
Where's
T.
his mom? Tell him.
All right. So Rob, we have the conclusion, the thrilling conclusion to last week's episode, right? Which was Rob and I, for the 180th episode, we pulled a 180 and we pitched the listeners our mailbag ideas, and they had to vote. Yeah, Rob, you might be muted or something. Puya says.
Yeah, we can't hear you.
Oh yeah, we cannot hear Rob.
As long as you can hear me, we're okay.
Can I give my opinion on your ideas from last week?
Well, I'll tell you the listeners' opinions. We rule at giving ideas. That's what they said.
I mean, I
What
think
was
in
your
general,
idea?
In general, the ideas were good. I just think unpaid internships are canceled in 2022.
But here's the thing. A couple of people said that. It's not a real internship. Like they would come on the podcast once or twice. Like they weren't actually doing work. They were just like a guest on the show.
In addition to not getting paid, it also doesn't give them college credit.
Well,
It's like extra.
yeah, oh no, well,
unpaid.
yeah. If somebody wanted a college credit internship, that's I think maybe a different thing. But anyway, we're not doing that. That did not make it. So the criteria we had, Rob, if you remember, was the winning idea of our 5 automatically made it, and then any other idea, if it didn't come in first place, if it topped the 70% threshold, which is a very high threshold, it would automatically go on the wheel. Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me? By the way.
You're
very
low.
faint.
Very
Very
low.
faint.
Okay.
Yes.
I think it might just be
you're
a
normal
auto
again.
Now
adjustment.
you're fine. Now
Yeah,
you're fine. Now
I
you're
think
fine.
I think it's a Zoom auto adjusted my volume.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Got it.
There we
Anyway.
go.
So to Kirsten's point, yes, interns came in 4th out of 5, did not make the wheel. Rob, do you want to guess what one of the 5 ideas? Can I remind you very quickly what the 5 pitches were?
Please do.
Okay. So the 5 pitches were, number 1 was Rob and Kiva need a summer intern. That was from me. Number 2 was down the habit hole. Is a Rob idea where people
are telling
write-
us about their living situation and
living.
the
Yeah, it
habits
could be
of
their bad
personality.
habit,
Yeah.
but certainly, loved one, roommate, whatever.
Mhm.
Then my
Weird
third
habits.
idea 3 was from me, and that was an idea we ended up calling dual intentions. A lot of people wrote in and said it should be called 10 to 1 or 10 to 1 dual intentions. It's a game show where we start with 10 guests, and by the end of the episode, there's only 1. And the twist is some of the questions are about the movie Cruel Intentions, which we'll all have to watch to prepare for the episode.
Yes.
Idea 4 from Rob was an idea called Does Nicole Know It? By the way, I checked the form so many times this week. I just remember these all from memory because I was checking the poll every hour because some of these were so close to the threshold. Does Nicole know it? It would be a game where Rob pre-records questions, asks them to his lovely wife Nicole, and
Maybe
I
they
will
could
play.
be listener submitted questions also.
Yeah, listener submitted questions, but you will be the one speaking to her, recording her, and I will play against somebody else.
Mhm.
And we will find out, does Nicole know it? A lot of people also suggested for our young friend Nicole Horn, maybe we could have a second version of that game on that episode with some questions where I play against you or you play against someone else, and we guess like 90s things. Does Nicole Horn know them? Has she ever heard?
Yeah. Okay.
So does Nicole know them? That's idea number 4. The number 5 was a little bit similar to number 1. It was my idea of Robin, like RAANAP Idol. It was called RAANAP Idol, basically self-explanatory. Anyway,
Okay.
One of these ideas demolished the field. It had almost. We gave a password to vote in the poll. We gave a password. Rob, you remember the password?
It was Braxton 123 exclamation point.
Braxton 123 exclamation point.
Mhm.
And in order to vote, you can vote without it. But in order,
it's also Laura Royden's Wi-Fi password.
yes, that's right. Over 500 people submitted votes, and the pretty serious majority of them used the password. So I'm very proud that hundreds of people use the password. Only 12 of the password users nixed one idea. Do you want to guess which of the 5? Liana, do you want to guess which of the 5 ideas was the easy winner?
Oh, the easy winner.
Yes.
Ooh.
One of them destroyed everybody.
Okay, interesting. I feel like people would want to hear from Nicole. So that's the
Yes.
one I'm going to go with.
Ring the bell. That is
Yes.
correct, Nicole.
Put it on the wheel.
Yeah, put it on. It goes straight on the wheel. It was of all the polls we've ever done, it was one of the more resounding successes.
One of the straightest.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, another idea made it very easily onto the wheel. Liana, you want to guess what that is?
Ooh. No, I already got a point, so you can ask someone else.
Kirsten. Well, I'm spoiled.
Well, I assume you're not going to ask yourself.
Yeah.
I feel like the Does Nicole Know is the clear winner.
Yes, we said that.
Can you refresh me on the other ones, not the intern one?
Okay.
Just the name of them.
Idol.
Just the name of them. I don't need.
Yeah,
the
sure. RAANAP Idol,
Mm-hmm.
Dual Intentions, and Down the Habit Hole.
Okay, so I personally would rather hear Down the Habit Hole, but does the RAANAP audience agree with me? I feel like normally they don't. I think it's gonna be the Cruel Intentions one.
Yeah,
that would be
Dual
my
Intentions.
guess. Yeah.
Dual Intentions did
Mhm.
very, very well. Easily made it.
I saw that somebody also said that dual intentions should be spelled with the I and the O as a 10.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that works.
Get the graphics team on that. I already said the intern one didn't make it. One other idea didn't make it. The lowest idea, by the way, had 50%, 57% approval. So all of them, none of them were like hated at all. The other idea that didn't make it was RAANAP Idol. Now,
Yep.
the entire week, the idea of Down the Habit Hole was on the bubble by like a vote. Like every time a vote came in, it would be on the bubble, off the bubble. It was basically 69.5%, 70%, 70.5%, 69.5%, 70%,
Nice.
70.5%.
I think we get it. We
Yeah,
get
yeah,
it.
yeah.
We get
I
it.
was just waiting. Anyway, I think I just don't know. It's like changed since we've started.
Yeah.
I don't know what to do with it. I think now it's
I-
like one out.
I
Thumbs
mean,
down.
I
say-
think
yeah.
I think that was the best idea of all of them, in my opinion.
Gives me the Kirsten McInnes bump.
And I don't know if it's because, I worked as an RA for years. I worked in property management. I know that people have incredibly weird habits when
Can't
they live
spell
with roommates.
Robin Akiva without an RA.
Exactly.
Mhm.
And so I think that the stories that would be submitted about people's roommates would be very messy and incredible. And if you guys don't want to put it on RAANAP, people can submit to anonymous.tinyurl.com/
Yes. Okay.
Well, what I say here is, I mean, if you want to do that, that's fine. The other thing I was going to say is like, we'll see what the ideas were. We could also do a crossover episode with the mess if you wanted for that.
Ooh.
I think like we'll put the 2 winning ideas on the wheel, and this idea is in the waiting room, but I will make a form for it at some point. And if the submissions are good enough, we'll put it right on the wheel.
All right. So I have some new business also before we get to formal ideas. Okay. And I don't know, maybe if we're really pressed for time, that this could be idea number 1.
Okay. Number 1.
Okay, here we go. It's not technically a wheel. It's a RAANAP idea, but it's not necessarily a wheel pitch. Okay.
Number 1.
Okay. All right. This is an idea I'm very excited about. I sent Akiva a message about it during the week. I want to start a RAANAP Facebook group. Public RAANAP Facebook group. Hear me out. I see some. Okay. Hear me out. RAANAP public Facebook group. Perhaps password protected. Only people that listen to the show can get in with the password. Okay. That all posts have to be approved by our moderator team. And if you talk bad about the guests or anything like that, you're out. You're out of the group. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
But I think having a place where people can share things, like a lot of times it's like, oh, like this is like here's a RAANAP related thing, and people don't necessarily like, maybe we get it on Twitter, but I feel like that RAANAP is a community centric show, and I think it would be nice to have all the RAANAP listeners in one place.
Mm-hmm. My only question would be, like, I do think Facebook groups, they're not dead.
I think you could say they're mostly dead.
Well, do you think so? I mean, what do you think about your own? Like, I feel like there's probably more people, but maybe like less posting than there were a couple years ago. Is that fair to say?
But I think that if it was something that was more specific, like where did the RAANAP fans go to have community about RAANAP? On Twitter?
A little bit.
I think
Reddit.
I would say
All
they
three of
probably
them.
mostly are in Reddit. I think a Discord community might be more.
Well, what do you think?
modern.
Facebook versus first
Put up
Discord?
a poll. You got your audience right here.
Well, why?
But
But
I
I'm sure Rob's already thought about this. So
Well,
why?
but these
Yeah,
are
but-
the most locked in members of the community are here watching.
I think people that are, people are on Discord or they're not.
But that's the same with Facebook.
Yeah, but way more people are on Facebook than Discord.
Oh, I don't think
that.
that's true. In
But-
the year of our Lord 2022.
Well, I mean, maybe like you're just talking about a specific type of person, but I do think Facebook is still like one of the biggest companies in the world, and Discord.
What's
like
the worst
Discord.
that happens? What like give me like the
Mhm.
downside. What's the worst case scenario?
Yeah, no
worst
one
case
comes, right?
scenario
So-
is I
Nobody
think worst
comes.
case scenario is people come and they're hateful.
But they're,
like,
Yeah.
they're gone.
Yeah, then they
And
get banned.
But then they're good.
But then is it a lot of work for somebody to ban these?
Sam
people?
do it.
Then we'll shut it down.
Oh yeah, Sam has time. Yeah, Sam
Yeah.
can do it. Never mind.
Yeah. Okay.
Let's do it, and Sam can be in charge of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's still there's still again the RAANAP Discord channel is one of my favorite channels to go and look at what people are saying. I love to like favorite the messages and check that out. But I think it might be fun. I don't know what the worst case scenario.
Okay, I'm
looks
not
like.
against trying it. I'm
And
not
I also
against
feel
trying
like, and we do have the Rob as a Podcast patron group, and there is discussion every week when I post the episode, and people talk about that. But I feel like that there are people that listen to RAANAP that are not patrons. I think that there's some people that are RAANAP only listeners that I don't think that they necessarily need to be RHAP patrons to have a place to talk about RAANAP. So why don't we see what happens? Like, do you think that there should be there'll be a question of what that you could have to before you can be added?
Yeah.
And should the answer to the question be the secret password Braxton 123 exclamation point?
How about Blaze
Sure.
123 exclamation
Ooh,
point?
yes.
All right,
If
I
you want
like-
to change
I
it
like-
up or accept
Yeah, well,
either,
people
perhaps.
said a couple
Mhm.
people did like try and put the password in. Like, why do you make it so hard? I'm like,
Yeah.
so I guess Blaze is better than Braxton, so we'll do Blaze 123
Well,
exclamation.
I
point.
also we will accept either.
accept
so,
either.
Okay, fine.
Yeah, and what should the question be though that people are answering?
Question be, what's the
Hmm.
password?
What is
Well, if
What's
it's
the
a password-
password?
what is
yeah, if
the
it's a password, you could just say what's the
Okay,
password.
what is the password? And then if we'll accept either. Okay,
Mhm.
and then we'll also like people we know. We'll just accept them if you're a known person.
Mhm.
Okay, but there you go.
Starting a cool kids club.
Yes.
If we know
Oh,
you,
boy.
you're in the Facebook.
What
group.
should
On
the
Facebook.
what should the name of the Facebook group be?
Rob and
R-
Akiva need a Facebook group.
You need a Facebook group. Okay, that's a good one. It's pretty good.
All right,
Good
so you could have
branding.
like a running a running thread of pitch ideas in there, so that if something gets like really promoted, we could reread it on the show.
Just,
Or something.
yeah, Akiva, if you need like mailbag things, or
Yeah, That's good for reminders. Maybe it'll be good for reminders. Not everything has to be on the head of Amanda or Sam or whoever.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens.
That's a little controversial, Megan, what you wrote. I don't know. People could misread that.
Okay. All right. Okay.
But
Yeah.
All right.
how?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right.
So, all right. Yeah, I'm going to read through 4 ideas in rapid succession.
Okay.
Okay.
I love Succession.
Number
Yes.
2.
This is from Missy K. She says,
Okay.
make it to the mailbag. Love the idea of having a panel of guests to play games and get eliminated. I would make the prize to make it on the mailbag. Keep it simple. So
Well, that is a
maybe,
prize. That is a prize in
True.
itself.
Well,
I'm experiencing it
absolutely,
right
yes.
now.
yeah.
A prize.
one of the great honors you can get in all of podcasting. But should that be the name of this podcast instead of Dual Intentions? Make it to the mailbag.
Oh, we're just rebranding an idea that's already.
Well,
Are you gonna
I mean,
still
that wasn't
include
her
Cruel
idea.
Intentions?
Yeah. Like, is
No.
that too cute? No,
Dual
you like Dual
Intentions.
Intentions better?
We already got it. We already got a great name.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think Dual Intentions is good.
Okay.
Mhm.
All right. I'm gonna keep going. Next idea.
Is this
This
number
one-
3 or is this
Number three.
Wow.
We're going rapid fire this week. We already put 2 things on the mailbag,
Number 3.
on the wheel. And
Okay.
by the way, I
Yeah.
think personally that there's so much stuff I'm excited for on the mailbag, on the wheel. Like, I
Shouldn't
don't want to
even
have
have mailbags anymore?
I'm not saying that. I'm just saying
Oh
right
my
now.
God.
Right
You
now,
should
my
have a constitution for this.
right now my threshold is extremely high. You know, like
Listen, lately I don't care so much about constitutions.
Mhm.
Or a Supreme Court for that matter.
Mhm.
Rob and Akiva become AFOLs. If I gave you 100, if we had more time, this idea is from Chad Adams. If I gave you more time,
AFOL.
if I gave you all day, I don't think you guys could guess. Do you want? But you want to, Liana, famous improviser. Do the 3 of you want to guess for a second what AFOLs are? Do you want to try and narrow
Yeah.
this down?
Okay, I actually know the answer to this because of my
Oh,
sister.
okay.
So
Oh.
I think so.
Oh,
if
you know
anybody
what? I'm
else
asking.
Okay.
If
I
anybody
realize
else
this now.
wants to
I'm
take a
asking-
guess.
Asking the wrong person.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. She's a ringer.
A fire of life.
Okay. I'm gonna say
The of is
a friend
Yeah.
of Lucifer.
Oh my
Oh,
God. Well,
can
you
I
already
sign
are
up
my
for
You're
that?
already my friends. Come on.
Mhm.
Yeah. Liana, you want to tell them what it is?
I believe it stands for Adult Fan of Lego.
That is correct.
Yes.
Okay.
I
Okay.
forgot Liana's literally a Lego podcaster.
Yes.
Liana is an AFOL.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Rob and Akiva become adult fans of Lego. There's a whole resurgence of adults being. I mean, it's not a podcast idea. It just made me laugh that the
Okay.
podcast name, AFOLs. All right, that's idea number 3. Number 4.
Number 4.
Season 3, episode 7 of The Nanny.
Oh, yes. Cosine. Yay. The nanny.
Uriel B.
Mhm.
Which episode
Yeah.
is that? Season 3.
Did we look this up once? Sometimes it's like, yeah, and then we look at the
Nanny.
episode and it's
Sure.
The
not a hit.
nanny is so good. Oh, the title of the episode is Oy vey, you're gay.
Oh,
Did we have this conversation once already?
I
It
think you
sounds
might have.
familiar.
Sounds familiar.
So
Uh,
the description of the episode is when Maxwell hires a female publicist to change his image, Cece and Fran think he is falling for her, but actually the woman is gay and more interested in Fran. So I don't think it's like a problematic
Someone just
episode.
watch the episode and let us know.
Yeah.
if
I'll
okay.
watch it. You don't have to ask me twice to watch
Oh,
an episode
thank
of
you,
The Nanny.
Kirsten.
I
Oy vey,
love
you're
The
gay.
Nanny.
Yeah.
Okay.
Funny. I mean, funny name, but
And
maybe,
something for everybody there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Sure.
All right.
And then number 5, Nick Fishman says, "Where in the world?
Number 5.
Yeah.
Where in the world is Rob and Akiva?" Nick Fishman
Okay.
says it would be a fun game. You could come up with a game. Basically, Team Akiva is given a location in the world, and you have 20 questions to try and narrow it down. It could be a race between 2 teams. You'd even get Eric Stein in it if you wanted
Yeah.
to call back to the old idea that never happened.
Sounds a little boring, no?
Yeah, it's like a funny like mailbag game almost. I don't know if it's a full episode.
Mm.
I don't know if it's that funny.
If Eric
Yeah.
Stein is in, though, I'm in.
Yeah. Akiva, last week on the podcast, we offered to get together with the RAANAP listeners. I feel like that the silence was deafening.
Well, no, I got a lot of pitches for cities in the A mailbag form and B like in
I
the
think
hey.
Hit by a Car Claire, I think, was the only person that I even saw any sort of response from.
Oh, here's my problem. I just don't think it can happen this summer. I just don't think I don't think I have the time. I have
Well-
I have another idea in mind.
Also,
But I don't think we
wasn't
can
it
do a
your
full-
idea?
I know, but my schedule changed a little bit over the last week.
Okay.
We could talk about it offline.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
It did.
Okay.
I know my family was like leaving me for a month at
Mhm.
that point. They just booked tickets now. By the way, tickets, I don't want to sound like the news here, but tickets very expensive.
Well, if you were a
Wow,
frequent
breaking
flyer
news, yeah.
and
Yeah.
maybe
on
if
good
you were
behavior.
a better flyer,
Mhm.
Akiva.
No,
Mhm.
that for me, they should pay me to fly. I'm a
Yeah,
flight
Aki-
influencer.
Akiva says he's the best flyer, but yet we never know when he's flying, and they don't pay him to do it. So
They don't pay me to do it. I
What's
do
the
think,
truth?
like I'm sort of the example. I'm like the best student in the class. Like, hey, if everyone just flies like Akiva, gets off nicely, doesn't get up, doesn't bother their patrons, doesn't make any noise, like they would really.
I mean, you're not the only one who flies like that, Akiva.
No, of course not. But I feel like I might be the best. Anyway, those are the ideas. We have two. We put two things on the wheel plus one in the waiting room. What do you think about RAANAP Idol and Rob and Akiva Need a Summer Intern? Are those dead, Rob?
I mean, if people really didn't like it, then
Well, I mean, they got like 60% approval, one of them. And
Do
57.
you really need to do another podcasting competition? I feel like the network has learned.
I don't think
right.
Yeah, I kind of like hearing about like sort of like more of like an America's Got Talent, but yeah, I don't know if we need it for like if we ever like needed a guest. I feel like we have ample supply of guests.
Ample guests.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's spin the
right.
wheel. Episode
Let's do that.
182 is coming up next week.
Yep.
And so let's go ahead and spin that wheel. 182.
You didn't even say what's on the wheel, which you normally do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
We're keeping it snappy, Akiva.
I guess we were,
Yeah, that's true.
keeping it
It's tight.
snappy.
Keep it
but-
tight.
That's fair.
Okay. We do have some exciting news of what's to come on the wheel for episode 182.
Mhm.
We're going to finally hear from another mess magnet as Robin
Oh,
watch a
my.
Bollywood movie.
Wow.
That's what I
After-
would have wanted for guest
I feel like
choice.
anytime Kirsten comes on, like the next episode is like one of her co-hosts or something.
I
Mhm.
mean, okay,
She does have a lot of
but
podcasts.
I have
so
a
the
lot of
odds are strong.
co-hosts.
True. The odds were strong of that.
Mhm.
All right. We don't know what movie Sasha wrote at one point last year, like a very detailed list of what we should watch.
Okay.
Put a lot of thought into it. So we will discuss this week. We will announce at some point this week what we're watching, so people can watch with us and ask questions. I think that'll be a useful thing if people can ask Sasha, like, what the hell am I watching? And she could explain it to them.
I think
Would
when you watch what she's gonna suggest, you'll be able to figure it out.
Okay, fine. But I'm very excited for that. That's been
Yay!
I think on the two things that are on the wheel the longest came up in back-to-back weeks.
Mhm. Okay.
And all right, next week, Robin and Akiva go
Yeah.
to Bollywood.
And we'll figure out, the scheduling and all of that good stuff coming up in episode 182. Okay. Kirsten, what's coming up for you?
Well, a lot. First of all, mess magnets, baby. We're out here. We just recorded with you last week, Rob. I feel like it was a very fun show. Oops, all anonymous.
Oops, all anonymous, Akiva, that we heard from
Very exciting.
from the listeners. The
Yeah.
MBs wrote
So
in.
fun. And we have already received an update on one of our stories too. So
Mhm.
it's a dream. Also still talking BoJack Horseman with Lindsay Wilson over on BoJack Horse Pod and Riverdale with Frail Mary over on Kowski Cast. It's Cow with a K. I'm going to be joining you again tomorrow, Rob, for Nothing But Netflix. To talk about the
Yes.
man
What-
from Toronto.
The man from Toronto, Kevin Hart and Woody Harrelson.
Woody Harrelson, yeah.
Yes. Okay.
It
So look for
should
that
be a
on
great
nothing,
time.
nothing but Netflix. I have no idea what
Yeah.
the movie's about.
It's here's the byline is Kevin Hart gets mistaken for a hitman. The hitman is actually Woody Harrelson
because he has the
Hijinks
last name
ensue.
Hart and he's in Canada, right? They're
No,
like, you're
there's
Brett the Hitman Hart, right?
Basically, he didn't
pretty good. That's
replace
pretty good.
the ink in his printer, and it was a low toner situation, so he went to the wrong address. Spoiler alert.
Okay. Yes.
But yeah,
I think
thought
we
it
needed
was
I think we
funny.
needed Matt and Mari for that joke more than
Mhm.
Kristen and Leanna.
I know who Brett the Hitman Hart is. I lived in
Yeah, she's
Calgary for 10
Canadian.
years.
Yeah.
That's true.
First of
That's
all,
true. That's
um,
true.
but I just no offense, I don't care about it as much as they do, obviously.
Mhm.
And also you can follow me everywhere at Kirsten Said What, including twitch.tv/Kirsten Said What, where we just had a subathon on Thursday and went for 6 hours.
Oh
Oh my
my
God.
gosh. That's long.
All right. Well, Kirsten, thank you for
Yeah.
being here with us.
Thank you for
Liana,
having me.
You gave us everything today. You
Mm-hmm.
ate an Oreo dipped in orange juice.
Good.
She would die for her
The
craft.
Yes.
sacrifices that I make for
Mhm.
RAANAP. Yes,
Yes.
I'm dedicated, if nothing
Yes.
else.
W-
Yeah.
Liana,
we're-
don't be a stranger. You got to come back sooner than a year next
Yeah,
time.
I'm more than happy to come back. I always enjoy RAANAP. In terms of other stuff that I'm doing, Drag Race All Stars All Winners is chugging
Oh.
along. We're having a really, really, really fun time. It's been such a good season. So Beth Amon and I are covering that. And then I was just a guest on Crime Scene with Mari
Oh.
and Sarah. We covered the Janes, which is about a group of women that were arrested for doing underground abortions before Roe v. Wade was passed. So very topical.
Okay. we'll definitely check that out. So Leon, thank you so much for being here for us. And Akiva, what's coming up for you?
I did not record a podcast this week between since the last RAANAP. Allie and I are, still trying to figure stuff out in terms of our schedule. We'll get back to it. And 32 fans, I think Chester was away this week, and so we didn't record anything.
That's why you were so fresh for this episode.
That's why I'm so fresh. I think Chester may have recorded an episode.
Yeah, he did.
I didn't know. See,
he talked to Brett Fahrenkopf about the
okay, fine. So
trade.
there was an emergency podcast about the Rudy Gobert trade. I don't even know what's happening on my Facebook, but that's good. That's funny because we hadn't done episode 500, so it skipped right to 501. Good job, Chester. Yeah, we should probably do one because I just see we dropped like 8 patrons since last week since we didn't record an episode.
Wow,
Anyway,
they were that on the fence.
I guess.
Wow.
I guess.
Yeah.
I guess. Although
Okay.
some people they charge at the beginning of the month, so some people like they get charged. They're like, yeah, I'm out. Anyway, yeah. So we'll be back next week, but hopefully I'll record both those between this week. Rob, what'd you learn this week on Rob and Keith?
Well, it's his episode 181, the hot takeoff of 2002. We learned so much today that sometimes socks or shoes and windows are overrated, and we're all just one bad podcast away from losing 8 patrons. Akiva, how about you?
Yeah. I learned that the coolest thing to do in 2022 is start a Facebook group. I learned that the least cool thing to do is post a picture of your wedding more than 12 months afterwards. And if you're posting a picture of your child, make sure you have not done so in at least 3 months.
Thanks for listening, everybody. See you next time. Bye.